And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Straight Talk, No Chase. I am your host / co-host Trip Simpson in the building, along with Kirk Keys.
Yo.
We gonna stop letting you.
Hazel,
Which Hazel?
Sunflower haze. Which Hazel?
That's fine. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Which Hazel?
I'll
Hey,
take
that's
it.
a good one.
In the building.
I'll take it at this point because this guy.
Hazelnut.
Which
Hazel?
Hazelnut, like.
And Bill Cosby Digital.
Jello pudding.
Oh, man, a lot to talk about.
Pound down, brown cow.
A lot to talk about this week. Ladies and gentlemen, first I'd like to thank everyone who checked on me and my family during our time of need.
All 12 of y'all.
As you all know, I was recently diagnosed with COVID-19.
Get out of here, man.
And
We only 15 days out, so.
Straight up.
and
12.
but no, everybody who called to check on us, we definitely appreciate that.
It went right
Wasn't nobody
in.
really sick,
I'm holding my breath.
Echinacea, vitamin C, and 1738.
It's not euthanasia.
That's all you need, bro.
I be saying it
That's
right.
And you know
all you
elderberry?
need. Actually, there's elderberry in my echinacea tea.
Got it.
But yeah, I mean, I drink that every day anyway. That's why the virus really couldn't fuck with me like that.
So you can taste.
Oh yeah, I barely had any symptoms.
Okay.
Caught the sniffles one or two times. That's about it.
Sneeze a little bit.
Yeah, a little cough here and there, but wasn't nothing.
You have a fever?
Nah, real niggas don't get fevers.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Keep that on record. Keep that on record.
And if we do, we ain't gonna tell nobody. But yeah. But other than that, had a great holiday week, and looking forward to 2021. Kirk, what you got going on? You ain't warmed up yet.
But so
Right?
what you want me to talk about? And took them around so that they can deliver these kids like some not groceries, some Christmas gifts,
you
Santa
sending
Claus
kids
style.
groceries?
Nah, man, I be helping out doing so many different things. I be forgetting what I'm talking about. So
Okay,
nah, it wasn't
good.
groceries. It was Christmas gifts this
Wow,
time.
Kurt's such a great
But,
guy.
Kudos
This guy.
to you.
I'm not even
Yeah.
hyping it, but in real life, that's how I spent Christmas. But I mean, I ain't really do too much celebrating of anything this year. So, like the usual traditions, how we would spend with my family, and we would spend Christmas together and stuff. We ain't even do that this year. We chilled out.
Oh yeah, well, my whole family had COVID-19, so everybody just
Yeah, I
kind
ain't
of
do
came
nothing
over.
either.
We had a-
Kind of a COVID.
Yeah, but we had a COVID
Yeah,
Christmas.
COVID party.
COVID Christmas. Got it.
How about you? Did you
What you about to say?
sacrifice any animals or whatever it is you do?
No, not this time. I actually like to sacrifice my victims after we make love. So that's typically what happens. And I sacrifice
Which
like
shit?
virgin males. That's
Wow.
my favorite thing to do.
Black
That's
Widow
the best
Hazel
and worst night of your
Vixen.
life.
Virgin
So
male
I
sacrifices.
don't celebrate Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah,
No shit.
none of that. I do celebrate the winter solstice. So I believe in going with nature. And during winter, everything hibernates. The animals hibernate. The ground is cold. Things aren't growing. The seeds everything is in a place of stillness and rest. And so I believe in doing the same thing. So I spent my time in Cancun. Yes, I traveled during the pandemic. Spent my time in Cancun just playing, resting, and just...
Things are cold.
So hold on. So you celebrate the winter solstice below
in Mexico
the
in the
equator.
heat, partying.
So they don't do the winter solstice below the
So
equator.
winter solstice in the sense of the energy that the winter solstice brings, right? So the winter
Okay.
solstice brings like resting,
You dodged all of it.
and all of that. No. So I did all my resting and hibernating in the sun. As you can see, I'm a little tan. I got my nose is peeling. It's the whole ordeal.
You were
So
jumping off cliffs.
I did my thing.
Skydiving.
But that's what's relaxing to me. So what I find is during the winter time, everybody starts like trying to build. They like hustle, grind. So you can shine in the summer, so you can, really relax in the summer. But what we should do is follow the patterns of nature. And during winter, nature rests, right? And everybody considers January 1st the new year, but it's not the new year because things are still dead, right? So things come alive during the spring equinox. I know this is a whole long drawn out story. Long story short, I was in Cancun, did my thing, had a great time, and I'm looking for somewhere else to go because traveling is indeed helpful to my mental.
Facts.
So yeah.
Bill?
Bill.
Apparently I got out back on the streets. But in real talk, I had a great holiday, spent time with family members I haven't seen in a while. I connected with my mom. We hadn't hung out a lot over the past year. So we were able to reconnect, and I had a great time speaking with her. We shared some stories that we hadn't ever talked about, and I got a good sense of my family and my family history and lineage. So
you did some healing.
Yeah, I did. It was very therapeutic, actually.
Come on, black man.
So I enjoyed the time I spent.
Niggas gotta heal now.
Niggas do need to heal.
My immediate family was like, "You've been in the streets too much," so I couldn't come over for regular Christmas
As
dinner.
my pop said.
They put my plate on the porch.
Damn, they did you like that for Thanksgiving too?
Yeah. Chris, they was like, "No, you still moving and grooving." So, but it's cool though. I understood. I actually went to my cousin's house, but they was like, "Bring the N95," and But I had a couple COVID tests because I was actually hanging out with Trip Simpson in Florida where the super spreader event happened. So I had to get tested when I came home, and I was negative. So I told people I got the antibodies.
Clearly.
Well, I mean, we all got it. Well, I got them now.
No, your Echinacea tea didn't work, apparently. You was drinking that before. No, he had a cup of tea every day in Florida.
No, but what I'm
He was
saying
like,
is
I'm good. I got my tea.
It builds your immune system up to the point where, like, if something foreign does enter your body, you have the wall built up already. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of people are making. Like, it's a virus. Build up your immune system, and you probably won't die.
And I can agree with that 100%. Since I got sick, I've been taking zinc, vitamin C, elderberry.
But why do y'all wait as men? You not so much because you said that you drink tea.
Yeah, I take preventative. So I drink. So like I counter that with preventative measurements in the morning. So like at night I can have my drink.
What's up with y'all? You wait till you feel a sniffle before you start getting your vitamin C and your zinc and all of that. What's that?
One thing COVID had opened my eyes to a vitamin regimen. I had taken vitamins on and off throughout my life, but a serious regimen of vitamin C, zinc, certain things that your body needs on a regular basis, I was not taking. But that situation showed me how well I recovered once I started taking all those things. And I felt my overall health go up.
Oh, yeah.
Because I continued to take that for the months after. I was like, okay, this is something I want to incorporate for the rest of my life. So sometimes it takes you to go through something. Like, through your 20s and early 30s, you think you're invincible. Like, if you don't break a bone. Huh?
You wasn't?
What, invincible?
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't break a bone or get shot or something, like, you pretty much make it through anything else. So nothing really else can really slow you down, but it takes certain situations to make you, wise up to the things you should be doing. So that's one of the things that COVID changed my life, that it made me have definitely a healthy vitamin regimen.
I can't relate. I'm pretty proactive. I kind of be ahead of things. However, I don't go to the doctor a lot, which is why I'm trying to be proactive so that way I don't gotta go to the doctor.
You go to the doctor?
That's when you start getting sick.
I do.
Yeah.
If I got health insurance, like to get checked up, yeah, absolutely.
But they don't really do shit when they check you up.
You go to the doctor for the shot.
I do not
I barely
ever go to the doctor.
For the year.
Well, women, we go yearly. So at least to make sure that our womb health is on par.
I got health insurance. I'm gonna take a physical every year. Definitely take a physical. Make sure my blood pressure. I get tested, STD tested, at least 3 times a year.
You might want to do that 3 times a month.
You say what?
What kind of life are you living? What kind of life are you living?
Not the life he's talking about.
The life of a 20-year-old? That's you living?
Absolutely not.
All right, what the hell are we talking about? Medical advice here? All right, let's get into the fucking topics, man.
All right, let's go. I'm excited.
So where do we go? We kind of we talked about health stuff, but we could talk about Kwanzaa versus Christmas.
Yeah, we didn't talk about what we celebrate.
We had a very spirited debate online about Kwanzaa versus Christmas.
What was the debate?
I'm gonna let Trip Simpson kick.
Well, I mean, Kwanzaa sucks. Everybody knows that.
Wait, what?
Kwanzaa fucking sucks.
Why does it suck?
It's a ripoff of Christmas and Hanukkah. It's just a poor imitation. The gifts suck. The whole premise behind it.
Values?
Ain't no values.
That's the whole. I feel like that's the point. What's wrong with the
Lay it out
value?
on the line.
The nigga who made Kwanzaa
We know his history.
was a fucking FBI
No,
agent.
people might not know. Let him lay it out.
So whatever is Ron Morienga, I believe is his
Let's
name.
hear it.
Karanga.
Karenga, whatever, something like that. He actually set up a few of the Black Panthers, H-Rap Brown and all of them. He's the one who got them set up and indicted for murder and all that crazy shit. Like he done a lot of fucked up shit. And just, I don't know, to support something this guy made, I just can't do it. Christmas, I mean, I'm not a Christian. I don't believe in Jesus Christ living or dying or any of that shit. But
You don't even believe he lives?
But I love my kids, and they
Or
do good in
died.
school, so I buy them what they want for Christmas, and we have a great
Did
fucking time.
Did you have a Christmas tree in your house?
I did.
So wait a
So
minute.
it's kind of like you
I did.
celebrate Christmas.
So it's,
I do. I'm not a Christian, but
wait a minute.
I celebrate Christmas for the cultural aspects. Yes, I do.
But
Whose
wait a
culture?
minute, yes.
I'm an American citizen, bro. I mean,
But what about the energy behind Christmas and Christians and all
the
of
energy
that?
behind Christmas is the winter solstice. That's what it's about. For real, for real.
No. No, ain't
not.
nobody talking about the winter solstice with their Christmas tree.
But it is
Stop
about it. But it
Nobody-
is.
No. Don't play me. That's not fair.
Well, how am I playing you?
Because
Do your children believe in Santa Claus?
No.
Did they?
No. Well, ever since any of my kids came out the womb, I told them no. There's no fat white man coming in my house giving you anything.
So it was a black.
No, I work hard. I bought you the goddamn gifts.
So
Not
you had
no
a
Santa
James
Claus.
Evans Christmas.
Listen. Not James Evans, because I got them. I get them what they want.
Oh, you got coin.
No, James Evans he worked hard, so your gifts came from me. That's still a James Evans Christmas.
James
So
Evans.
no, my question is this: so the energy behind Christians that did their thing as far as Christmas is concerned, and the old Saint Nick and all of that, that energy is okay, but the energy behind the black man isn't.
So here's the difference. If Kwanzaa would at least be fun and allow you to buy people good gifts, maybe I might participate.
But why? Wait. But that's the thing. The energy behind Kwanzaa.
Hold on, ask him this one question. Has he ever celebrated Kwanzaa?
Dude, listen, man.
No. Have you ever celebrated Kwanzaa?
Listen, I respect my children. I respect my children's intelligence. I'm not going to roll that bullshit out for them. I'm going to give them what they want, because at the end of the day, like, I'm not trying to raise a bunch of fucking weirdos.
Did you?
What?
Hold on. Did you buy your kids more than 5 gifts?
Terrible.
Yes.
Huh? Yeah. For sure.
So you're a capitalist. That's all.
No.
Fine.
So
I am.
Kwanzaa,
This is America.
you can give a gift every day for 5 days.
Yeah, but
so
those gifts
your
suck.
kids can
There's
have
like
the
rules
same-
behind the gifts.
No, so the gifts is supposed to be like family
It's like-
oriented. It's supposed to be like unity and like it's these.
What
there's
did your-
things
what
that's
did-
There are
cultural
rules.
things.
There are
What
rules
did your
behind the
kids
gifts. though.
learn from Christmas Day?
Well, if you continue to get good grades and listen to what the fuck I say, I'll take care of you.
Okay.
So why you can't do that every day? Why have to wait until Christmas?
Why
Because
can't
this
they
is
be
what they're
making
looking- this is
good
what they're looking
decisions
forward
rather
to.
than listening to what you say?
Hold on, real quick. So for the people who
Get
don't
good
know what
grades and make
Kwanzaa
good
is,
decisions.
right?
Hold on, he's going to explain Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa
You gotta
is a
read it,
7-day
nigga?
festival that's founded in 1966 by Dr. Bwana Karenga as a pushback on the commercialism
That's not
of
his real name,
Christmas
though.
and the way of African Americans to celebrate a holiday through community building practices shared across the continent of Africa. In fact, one might say Kwanzaa has similarities with the Thanksgiving in the United States.
Can you stop
or the
right there?
Yam Festival of Ghana and Nigeria.
What's that?
5 common sets of
Across the
values
continent of
and central
Africa.
to activities of the week: intergathering, reverence, commemoration,
important parts.
recommitment, and celebration. 7 principles of
Can you get to the
Kwanzaa.
gifts? I don't care about the emoji and uji
December
chocolate.
26th, the first day
That's
is
a whole
unity.
weird, that's a real language. You know
December
that,
27th is
Niggas in Africa speak
self-determination.
French.
right? They speak what? They
French.
speak several
Swahili.
languages.
Y'all, hold on, y'all done? Hold
These
on.
are in Swahili for
December
the record.
26th is
Swahili is
unity.
not the official language of any African country.
Umoja. December 27th is self-determination. Kuji Chakalia. December 28th, collective work and responsibilities. That's Umoja. December
Responsibility?
29th, cooperative economics.
So none of this
Ujama.
think it's a good energy?
December 30th is purpose. That's Nia. December 31st is creativity. And January 1st is faith, Imani.
Oh my God.
So we got
So
unity.
group economics?
So we got unity, work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith are the principles of Kwanzaa.
and you don't think none of those are?
Which one of those are you against?
I'm not necessarily against any of those things. I just find them to be irrelevant. It's the holiday season. I just want to drink, give out my gifts, and eat turkey and shit.
Irrelevant to what?
Irrelevant to the time of year. I mean, it's a
So
knockoff.
basically, you want to have
It-
no
it-
substance to this time of
plus,
year.
Plus, okay.
That's what you're saying.
That's-
The
you're
You're
Christians
saying
got
get rid of
substance
all
to
the
it. They say
substance
Jesus
and
is
just
the
give
reason for
gifts.
the
I'm gonna
season.
keep it. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Keep it all the way 100.
One thing I don't like about it is is this constant attempt to try to turn black people in America into some fictitious African group of people with some half-ass African-esque culture. Like one thing that's said in that breakdown of Kwanzaa is traditions spread out throughout the continent of Africa. Africa's a big continent with 54 different countries, with inside of those countries different tribes that think differently. Like, why do we have to try to turn ourselves into something that we've been disconnected with, and we don't
Have
even
a connection to something.
What I'm saying is our connection is to this land because
But
we
is
built it.
But is it? Is
Some-
Christmas connecting you to the land?
I don't give a fuck about. I don't need Christmas to connect me to anything. I just want to make my kids happy on Christmas Day. What I'm saying is celebrating.
So 5 gifts in 1 week versus 5 gifts on the same day. You don't think they'd be
It's
equally
more
as
than
happy?
5 gifts on the same day.
Well, what I'm saying is,
And it's 5 things that they really. It's 5 things or more that they really want instead of some fucking. There's rules to the gifts, man. You didn't
so
get to that
they're
part.
actually, not depending on which household you celebrate Kwanzaa in, your social economic background.
I know, because
what
I don't
your
like how
needs are.
personalized he's
Yeah,
making
you
this
can-
either. That's not for everybody,
Yeah,
bro.
so-
Everybody's not in your situation. Everybody ain't providing
It's not my
5 or more
situation.
kids with gifts to their kids.
Everybody's not doing that. Okay, fine, great. But what I'm saying is that doesn't take away from the fact that Kwanzaa sucks. Because if you had the money to have a great Christmas, you wouldn't celebrate Kwanzaa.
No, that's,
That's
not
not
true.
So why-
true
that's not
because
true.
the
So the
whole
same
point
way
is
we
to give
celebrate
substance.
Christmas,
You're
I don't wanna
ignoring the
celebrate
whole
Christmas.
point of substance here.
Man, look,
Yeah.
y'all got
don't even
Kwanzaa
believe in
is for
Christianity, but he
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
celebrates- but he buys Christmas
Kwanzaa.
gifts
I
for
feel
his
like
kids.
Kwanzaa is for the people who may actually want some substance that don't want to believe in the whole Christianity aspect of Christmas.
Where's the substance behind it?
The 7 whole principles that they just
faith,
pointed out.
Economics, like creativity, things that you know what I'm saying.
Unity.
As black people, yeah, that we should focus on.
The FBI or the CIA sent this man out to dismantle the Black Panther.
what
By
did- and
what
giving
did
them
white
people
seven
do with
seven
Christmas?
And then this same man
principles
turns
that are actually
around and
solid.
gets his motherfucking holiday that he made up validated by this same government who they push Kwanzaa on us
And they push Christmas on you too.
because Kwanzaa is confusing. See,
Hold on.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you
what
what
do
this.
they market harder, Christmas or Kwanzaa?
Well, I mean, this is still a black holiday. I mean, come
I've
on.
never seen the
Nobody
government
pushes
market.
Kwanzaa.
I've never
Ever
seen
seen the
Until
government
until
market
right now,
Kwanzaa?
hold on,
Harris-
no.
Kamala Harris
Kamala
just came
just
out
made
the
a
other day
Kwanzaa
thinking like she celebrates Kwanzaa.
That's what I was about to say. Until
this
Kamala
is
the other day,
2020.
I haven't seen
I've never
anybody
seen
mention
it.
Kwanzaa in the government.
It's all over the news.
Nah, it's black people.
No,
Black
Kwanzaa
people
is
do it.
everywhere.
That was
Outside
all
of
over
that.
Black Twitter. That was not. I ain't
Recent.
said shit
So
on the
look,
news.
It's just another attempt to get you out of thinking as your own group.
What? It
Hold
literally
on.
says group
Hold on.
economics. It literally says unity.
Let's read it back to him
The
again.
problem is you
Hold
got
on.
people who want to be so
Hold on.
anti-group that they want to find a problem
I'm
with
not
everything.
I'm not
You can
anti-group.
literally
Hold
take
on, hold
those
on.
principles without taking the person and
Let me read these
build
principles
something
again.
on that.
Unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and
And
faith.
Okay, first of all, you can leave faith out because I don't have no faith.
And
do
nothing.
it.
In nothing?
I feel
Just
like
God.
you
Or
have
just
faith-
Jesus.
you
Who
have
you don't got
faith
faith in?
in-
Which you want to
Faith
pick?
You
is
have faith in that black
In
label
yourself, faith
that is
in-
gonna.
No, I don't. I don't have faith
you
in
feel
it.
a great way by
No,
the end
I
of it.
know that if I drink Black Label, I'm going to get to where I want to be.
That's faith.
That's faith.
in it.
That's not faith.
What if you got a bad batch?
That's not faith.
You got faith in
You have
Johnny
faith.
Walker.
You don't have no
got a bad
evidence of the
Faith-
future, so you don't know that
faith-
that's
It
going to
might not
happen.
work.
Faith
But
a
faith is
blind
believing that that's
sense
what's going to
of
happen.
trust that you have no evidence or logical reasoning to even believe in the first place. That's
That
what
is not faith. That is not faith.
No logical reasoning.
I don't have faith. I mean, why do I need faith? I can look at things logically and come to a reasonable conclusion.
And be wrong as fuck.
Okay, but at least I didn't believe it.
You did believe it. That's why you had a logical
That's why you
conclusion.
thought you knew. You just said you
You just had a
know.
logical
And
conclusion.
it's the shit in the
This
future
man is
you
trying
don't
to trick
know.
us,
So it's
y'all.
not. No, dog. He don't be making sense.
Faith is
He
some
wants to
fool.
celebrate his white Christmas. I think the
It's
rest
not,
of us.
I don't celebrate white Christmas. It's Christmas,
you got a
dude.
Christmas tree.
This is America, dude.
What
Is
does
there
that
a
mean?
black? Is there a
What you doing
black
in America?
Christmas?
Huh?
Is there a black Christmas?
In my house,
What's the difference between Black Christmas and White Christmas?
I'm black and I'm celebrating Christmas.
So you celebrate the way everybody else does.
I celebrate it the way I do.
Which is, how's that different?
I mean, let's be honest. Black people started adapting Christmas to assimilate to American culture. So I don't mind or I don't
It's not a
frown
problem.
upon black households who are trying to assimilate to American culture to be American.
But don't act like
You know, I don't
Kwanzaa
frown
is
upon.
such a
I don't
shitty
frown upon.
thing.
I don't want to frown. First of all, I'm joking. Kwanzaa. If you want to celebrate Kwanzaa, fine.
Because we
But-
got to keep it 100. Everything that we
It does suck.
everything that we celebrate is made up by somebody.
Facts.
So if you want to say the winter solstice or Christmas or Christianity, it's made up by Constantine. So I challenge everybody to Google Constantine.
Well,
right?
winter solstice is kind of a fact.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. Someone had to decide we're gonna make a festival out of this.
Now we got
Or
a
we're
damn
gonna
pagan
decide
up here.
to celebrate this. You know what I'm saying? Somebody had to decide that. So all my Christians who celebrate Christmas, I would say look up the Crusades, look up Constantine.
First of
There's
all,
negativity,
the Christians
murder,
were the-
rape,
were the-
everything behind every religion.
The Christians were the worst group of people to ever
celebrate.
grace the planet.
Ever.
Huh?
Literally
So
the worst.
we agree there. The Christians were the worst group of people to ever grace this.
So I
Well,
find-
I don't know. Hold up. Arabs might be actually a little worse than Christians.
So I find it ironic that you take rituals from them, but condemn people who take rituals from a flawed black man.
Condemn, that's a strong word. I
Now,
don't.
you
I mean,
definitely
you do
condemned.
condemn.
You condemned
You
it
were
very
very-
strongly.
All I said was
very
Kwanzaa
adamant.
sucks and the FBI agent made it.
So what about Christmas? Christmas is great and white people are amazing.
No, I never said that. I said Christmas in my home consists of me buying my kids presents and putting them under the goddamn tree for the great work that they've done all throughout the year.
He said, I'm American, so I'm going to suck up to the white man, but I'm black, and I'm not going to suck up to the black man. That's what he said.
First of all, I don't suck up to no. First of all, if you sucking up to the guy who made Kwanzaa, you're sucking up to the white man because he's an agent for them.
Nah,
let's
it's
not
still the
forget
black
that.
man, though, because it's to empower
Everybody
black
knows
people.
you
Even the white man. At the end of the day.
Right. So you don't have to
I don't
celebrate
worship.
it.
I don't worship the white man.
You don't have to celebrate it, but to
You put the
discount
white man's tree in your living room.
because that started in
Celebrating-
England. That started in England. That started
First of
in
all,
England.
my tree was made in China.
Wait, it wasn't a real tree? You do fake trees?
Yeah, I get all that mess in my goddamn
I
house.
wouldn't get a real tree either.
Yeah.
Plus, that's how you. They
That's
don't-
how shit catch on fire.
Yeah.
So for
yeah.
me, it's more so okay. So you don't do the gift giving and all of that, but to discount the principles behind Kwanzaa, that's kind of different. Like we talking about group economics, faith, unity, creativity, and things of that nature. For you to be like, oh, who
I
cares?
mean, but we talk
Who
about that
cares?
every day. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
need some,
but
I don't need some
as a
FBI
community-
agent to
but
tell
as
me
a
about it.
community, are we really focused on group economics? We're not.
I think now is the perfect time to refresh, getting ready for each time of the year to focus on these principles so that you get the year started next year going into all of that. Like,
I mean, group economics,
Fresh.
though. Here's the thing with group economics, right? Unfortunately, us as Black Americans,
bro,
we
you
don't-
practice group economics.
Hold up,
right
hold
now.
up.
I know you have invested.
hold up though, but it's not effective.
You do group of economics though.
I think that group economics is a great thing, but if you think that that's going to save us from our situation, then you're highly mistaken.
Not the only thing that will save us. We have a lot of things that need to
mean,
be done, but group economics is one of them.
There's a $98 trillion gap between the Black community and the white community.
Well, so one thing we don't have is our own educational system
Ho,
that
ho, ho.
we do need. There's
No.
a lot that we need.
One thing that we don't have, and the main thing that we need, is capital. We don't have capital.
Group economics can build
Bro,
it.
I have,
No, it can't.
I have
It-
a very serious question for Trip Simpson. Is Black people celebrating Christmas gonna help us close the economic wealth gap? Or do Black people
Not
go in
celebrating-
debt? Do
not-
they go in debt every year
I've
trying to
seen
celebrate?
Not celebrating Christmas is not going to get you any closer.
It absolutely
It actually
is because
would.
Black
It
fam-
actually
Black
would.
families all over the
If
country
you
go into
took
debt
all the money that you
every
use to
year.
celebrate Christmas and put it into a group economic fund, small joints,
Some type
pockets
of
of them
investment.
together in
Here we go.
families, I guarantee you your money would grow way faster
If
than what it would
families
spending
do-
this shit on
so-
Christmas.
so-
Like,
You're- that's bull,
immigrant
yeah.
groups who don't celebrate
That's
Christmas.
literally
So-
bull.
Don't
You
go
find the
into debt
easiest,
like
simplest
Black
ways to be
people
like,
go
hey,
into
y'all owe us
So the- so
reparations.
the issue-
Just say they owe us
so-
reparations, but
so
there's
the
other
issue-
ways you could do
so
it
the
outside
issue
of
here,
that.
So the issue here is breaking down, right, how much we're actually worth. And when you get into those numbers, it becomes very alarming.
We're actually worth a lot.
No, we're not.
We are.
The
We're
whole
we're
country
main
is free.
consumers.
The
We're
whole
worth a
world
lot.
is free.
Our dollars, the way we spend our
If you
dollar,
take
we're
away
worth a
value
lot.
of the dollar-
If we did
Let me
not
ask you a
spend
question.
our dollar,
Let me ask you a question.
How do you even put money- a dollar sign on it?
How many out of
Price tag.
out of 25 million Black families in America, how many do you think are worth $1 million or more?
I don't know.
Just give me a ballpark. I do know. Give me a ballpark number.
You said what's the first number? 25 million.
Out of 25 million families, how many do you think are worth $1 million
in America or the world?
in America? $1 million or more.
Probably like 200.
200 people
200 families.
out of 25 million.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of millionaires.
Well,
Millionaire families.
So out of 25 million,
This is the lowest ball. Like this is like the lowest.
I mean,
of
it
the
is low, but what you just saying is ridiculously low.
No, I'm giving like.
I was gonna get like 20,000.
I'm giving like prices right. See,
I was gonna give it like 20,000.
$1 million. Okay, wow. Okay, you
Because I'm
guys.
giving prices right numbers.
You
Like you gotta
guys
start
really
at $1.
So what I'm getting at
You
is
just give us the answer.
it's 350,000,
I would have never thought that.
but that is extremely low compared to other groups.
They also had a 400-year head start.
Exactly. Get what I'm saying? We are behind $98 trillion.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the top 20%, right, of our group holds most of the wealth. The bottom 50% is in the negative. It's worth negative $200 trillion.
And they probably spend the most.
Excuse me, it's worth a negative $200 billion.
And they probably spend the most.
No, I mean, they don't have anything.
So
No, but
it's
that's the thing.
nothing's
Black
passed
consumers-
down.
Black consumer dollars.
Most of these families are progressing, number one, because they get inheritance. Inheritance
Yeah.
is the most common transfer of wealth.
and life insurance.
But most of us don't have life insurance,
Yeah.
and most of us don't have anything to.
Yeah, back
give
in the
down
day,
to
black
anyone.
people weren't allowed to have life
So
insurance.
what I'm saying is, without assistance from the federal government in transferring that what we're deserved, we're going to have a very hard time, no matter
The
how
thing
much.
is, once the money gets to us, wouldn't it make it
Group economics all the way.
right? Okay.
But what I'm saying is, you
don't-
need that money first.
So don't discount group economics then. So what I'm saying at the very least is group economics, among other things, would definitely help us out. But we need so many other things. We need our own community. We don't even have a sense of community.
Getting reparations without that sense of community, without that education, without all these other pieces
money's
that
just
you
gonna go
need
right
is
back.
going to
Well,
be
that's not
pointless.
true.
And
That's
that
not true.
is true, bro. You
That's
have
not
these
true.
bullshit theories
That's not
of
true.
things that you
Very
don't
true.
have
I mean,
any faith in because you don't
you
know
can-
what's true and what's not. If it's the future, it hasn't even happened yet. What
But
I'm
you
telling
don't know
you is,
either.
I know, and I didn't say I do, but I have faith.
But what
you
I
don't.
do
So
know-
obviously we can't even
okay.
compare. So what I'm saying is,
neither one of us know the future. But what I do know is that we need the fucking money.
Yeah, and I don't doubt that either. I haven't said that we don't. But what I'm also saying is, you throw out all of the other important factors that you also need that go
I mean,
along
you
with
get
that
the
money
money.
and act like you only need money. What I'm telling you is that's the least of the worries.
You
You
need
actually can do
finance.
all of these
that
other
is
things
not
without
the
the
least
money.
of the worries.
No, it is, because what I'm telling you is,
That is
hold
the
on, hold
major
on,
worry.
hold on, and listen. Sometimes you always want to talk, you don't listen.
I'm
What
listening,
tell-
but you ain't listening.
Okay, and now what I'm going to tell you is, after you've ranted this whole time and I haven't said shit, is that
Kirk's
is that
awake.
you can actually take this money. I mean, not even the money that you're talking about. You can actually take these theories, these principles, these concepts, put them together, and get rid of all the bullshit that you believe in, like Christmas, and then make some power moves together as a unified front to get shit done without the reparations. Because in all honesty, if they never give you reparations, what you're saying is we're always going to be losers. We're never going to take anything, and we always going to be at the bottom of the barrel. And I refuse to believe that that's the reality.
matter if you
That that's
believe
the
it or not.
case.
That's what the numbers
but that's
predict.
not true, and that's what I'm telling you is it's not. Because at the end of the day, they did not always have all the wealth either. They weren't always running the
I'll
world
give you-
either.
hey, listen,
Somebody
I'll
was,
give all
and
of you
everybody who's in power always ends up losing to somebody.
Yes,
And it's never the
every
most
great
powerful
empire
person,
falls.
because obviously the most powerful person would have stayed in power. So what I'm
Every
saying
empire
is there's
falls.
somebody that's going to falter. There's somebody that's going to be able to take that shit over. We have everything we need. We act like we don't because we don't have simple
Rome fell,
philosophies
Greece
and
fell,
simple
every
concepts
empire
of working together, because we're all right here ready to do it if you got rid of the whole like mind frame that it's impossible without somebody giving you some shit, because they're never going to just give you some shit
Ever.
at the end of the day. So you
First
should
of all,
get it out of your head. It is giving,
So-
because
so
they don't have to do it, and there's no way that you or anybody out here is going to force them to. So it's
look,
giving at the end of the day.
Once we put our emotions to the side, right, and we actually look at what the fucking numbers are, you can give a cheerleading speech all day, hip hop parade. We can do it together. And all, bruh, we are capitalists in a capital society. Excuse me.
So go be
society ran by
capitalist and
capitalism.
stop asking somebody to give you
If you
something.
do not have money,
they don't give you
if
shit
you
in
do not- as a
capitalist
group,
society.
if you do not have money, you will not succeed here.
But my question is this, or not my question, but rather this honest opinion is this. without the education, you get this money, they just want to give it right back. So you need the group economics.
So-
you need the group economics. You need the fiscal responsibility, the things that we're trying to say that you need, the unity and all of that. With those things, once you get the money, you can make smart decisions. People are getting even stimulus checks. People are getting $2,000 stimulus checks prior to this. And they gave it all back. They was in Gucci, Louis Vuitton. They gave it all
With $2,000, what are you gonna
with
get out of that?
$2,000, you can get a little bit.
Frankly-
Gucci goes on sale. Louis Vuitton does not.
I think
Hold
it's
on,
unfair.
Trip,
No, because she was just talking to me.
Go ahead.
I think it's unfair to just paint the whole fucking society with a
That's
broad brush
pissing
like
away
that.
your money
There
like
are
that.
some
People
people.
say that all the time
There are
like
some
that.
people who are fucked up who will go out and do that. But what I say is, if that's what you want to do with your money, do it. But with a large transfer of wealth, reparations is what I'm talking about. There will be enough of us, right? There will be enough money in the hands of enough of us to actually turn shit around and make the difference. The fact that we are 13.5% of the population and have a little over 1% of the wealth
But you don't think-
whoa, is unacceptable.
But you don't think that the people that have the money now, the people that are black, that look like us, that have money now, that they could, you don't think they can influence some shit? They could put their money together and fix some shit?
Oprah Winfrey, right? Mm-hmm. You think she owns the OWN network?
She doesn't.
Just sold it.
They just took the last little bit of what she owned of it from her.
She sold it.
Right,
They
she
didn't
sold
take
it.
it. She sold
That was a
Right.
choice.
Trust me.
Plenty
She
of-
didn't sell a
so-
And it's
motherfucker.
because,
plenty of-
because she
plenty
ain't
of-
got
sell a
the
motherfucker. Plenty of
unity
people build
mind
and
frame.
sell companies.
So look, off bucks, right? She never even owned, when the deal was first made, she owned 25% of the company.
Okay.
Now she owns, I think, 1.5% of it, and they're gonna let her be the CEO, whatever that means.
So if black celebrities put some money together, you don't think?
So what I'm telling you is,
They can
black
influence.
celebrities aren't even worth what you think they're worth.
some
Oprah
of them
Winfrey
are.
is a billionaire working a fucking job. Billionaires don't do that.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
So
Name me one billionaire with a job.
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos don't have no
He's the
fucking job.
chairman of Amazon. That's his job.
He owns it, nigga. He owns it.
But his job on paper.
Is the chairman of Amazon.
What I'm telling you is, Oprah Winfrey doesn't own, but she's the CEO.
never said
she
she
works for
owns.
them.
But she said she.
Oprah Winfrey was just working for 60 Minutes 2 years ago, but she's a billionaire. What billionaires do have to do shit like that?
So
What
Jay-Z,
billionaire?
is Jay-Z a billionaire?
Fuck
or
no, Jay-Z is not a billionaire.
Beyonce's not a billionaire.
No, they are not.
None of these people are
They
billionaires.
are not. You can check. Okay, so something interesting, right? If you want to find out what somebody's really worth, check their IRS Form 990. So anybody with any type of money, right, doesn't put all their assets in a fucking checking account. Matter of fact, you don't want to put nothing in a checking account. If you have billions of dollars, right, or even $10 million, you put your money into a private non-operating family foundation. I have one of those. I'm not a millionaire yet, but what I'm saying is, anybody who has any type of real money, that's where you put it. You check their 990. If you go right now and you check Bill Gates, you check the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. There's $50 billion in there. Check Jay-Z shit. It's like $98 million in there. Check Oprah shit, $216 million. These people are not billionaires. What they do is, Forbes says,
So they don't include assets?
so Forbes does this. Forbes says they got a little bit of this company, a little bit of this company, and the projections over the next 5 years will suggest
They don't got
that
$1 billion.
they're worth
They do
$1
have
billion.
$1 billion.
Like Kanye West doesn't have $3 billion.
But even with like their portfolio, you're saying in liquid cash,
But
you're
it's
saying
what they worth,
cash.
I'm telling you right now.
So we're not including assets and portfolios and other investments.
I'm talking. So if
Money
we're
that
talking,
they can access is
if
what
we're
you're
talking
talking about.
assets, you can access shit from assets. Okay.
But this is bullshit too, because if
No,
you
it's
can-
not bullshit.
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you why.
Because
hold on.
so this is what that does. It gives us a false sense of achievement in this country when we really haven't achieved anything.
If
They're
they-
putting
if-
these people on the front line, trying to make it seem like black folks are making these strides, when in actuality we aren't.
if she controls $250 million in assets versus $1 billion, that's still out of the range.
I'm not shitting on Oprah for having
Let
that.
me finish. That's still out of the range of 99.9% of black people. Whether it's Oprah, Tyler Perry, Jay-Z, whatever. In assets wise, they outpace 99.9% of all people. So you can still hold them in high esteem and say that's something I can want to attain to,
or put their money together. Like,
but I think the thing is, right? America has set up a system even now to extract wealth from the black community. through hip hop, through fashion,
Hair.
through our cultural expression. They've set up a system to extract the money from us. So if we don't decide whether we get reparations or not to change the culture that extracts from black people, it started with our labor. Now it's our intellectual property and our style. If we don't change that system to keep them from extracting wealth, I believe the other panelists that they're eventually going to siphon off a large amount of this money before we're able to make fundamental change that I think we can make if we have a collective plan when we go into getting
That's the
reparations.
part right there.
Like, I'm for reparations, and I think for us to make transformative change in this country, we definitely need reparations.
I agree 100%
But
with
we
that.
need reparations plus a plan. Just like all the other ethnic groups come here with a specific plan from their lineage, their government, they have a plan to repatriate this money from America back to their country. All of them they send in 25% of income. If it's Jamaica, if it's China, if it's whatever country people are coming from. Like, that's why when the American economy
Korea.
goes down, everybody else's economy goes down because so much money is being repatriated to other countries. If they can figure out a system to circulate our American economy across the world, black people need to figure out a system to have our own economy circulating, to insulate us from all these political ups and downs and things that are going on.
Especially when we're the number one consumers.
So that's also not true.
Is it not though?
There are every group of people in this country spend money. That's something they just keep telling you.
So I'm for that. I'm for that.
They
theory.
just keep
That's
telling
but
you
I
that.
do feel like when it comes to certain industries,
The average black
we
person
spend
is
a
not.
lot of money.
The average black person is not out here buying Gucci and Fendi and all that shit.
It don't, but
That's not the average black person.
but it doesn't have to be Gucci
hair,
and Fendi.
the hair industry.
I mean,
It's
you
definitely.
but you need hair products.
So hold
You
on.
don't. I don't use hair products. Before you say anything,
I mean, that's you.
Before you say
So-
anything, but a lot of black people don't actually need hair products. A lot of people do it because it's sold to us like,
I know
oh,
a lot of women who
this
make their own
natural
hair
this,
products now.
This. You know, they put these things on labels.
I hear you, but that's just not fair. Like people want to look how they want to look. You got to spend your money on.
But that's what I'm
No,
saying. We're
that-
the number one
no,
consumer.
that's not-
and
we
just
are the
not
number-
true.
So it's a reason why psychologically, black people are trying to buy their self-worth. Every oppressed group that has ever existed in the world,
In order to assimilate.
once they become unoppressed, they try to buy the assimilation. If you look at the lower Asian class, if you look at Korean, if you look at Japanese, if you look at lower Asian
Cambodians, yep.
cultures, they are much more materialistic and consumer than the higher Asian classes who are classified in America and in Asia. They try to buy their acceptance. If you look at the Irish, if you look at Italian, if you look at their consumer patterns versus white people, they are the same way. They are way more materialistic and consumeristic. I think I just made that up.
But I like it. Keep going.
They consume a lot more because they're trying to buy their acceptance into society. So it's a direct psychological effect. Like, to quote my man's favorite rapper, like, if you buy Benz, you still a nigga in the coupe.
Yeah.
Like, we've all experienced that. Like, let me show that I'm not the average black man. I'm not the
different.
average black woman. I'm different. I got style. I can purchase what I want. I can drive what I want. I can eat where I want. That's still a symptom of us black men living in America.
These are
black
things that you're
women living in
seeing
America.
on television. Like, most black people are not out here buying these ridiculous things.
So but you got to think about it at scale. Like, if you talk about just regular
Now, granted-
fashion,
now,
buying
granted-
Jordan,
now, granted-
let's put Jordans for example.
Yes.
We are the
Piss
main
poor
consumer
example.
of
It's not a
small
bad example.
consumer goods, tennis shoes.
Because you can go to
coats.
Nikes. That's what I was about to say.
All
You can
of
go to
these brands
Adidas.
We
You
make
can go
hot
anywhere.
because we consume the brands. Like, if black people stop buying Jordan, do you think Jordan would be popular?
If black people stopped buying Jordans, they wouldn't have any effect on our financial situation.
If black
Let's say you
people
buy- let's
stop-
say
Y'all
you
are
buy-
having two different arguments though.
No, because he changed the argument
Yeah,
when
you
it
just-
doesn't
I
fit
didn't
in
change
his
it.
narrative. You definitely
Yeah,
shifted
you definitely
to a
just
whole
shifted it to
different
something
financial
else.
situation.
The whole point of this conversation, right, was
No,
that
it's not. No,
I think it was
so
Christmas
I read
versus
an article
Kwanzaa.
today that, let's say you bought every retro
Hold on, what's
Jordan.
not?
You bought every retro Jordan.
The whole point of this
from
conversation is,
2008.
no, it's not. He never even said what the point was.
Because he's about to change the narrative to a whole grand.
He said, hold
if
up,
we
what's
just
not?
Go with the numbers. We're gonna see. We can't.
Nigga, the numbers don't last. Only you can go by.
I'm gonna give you some numbers. So
We can
if
talk
you
about all
bought
this whole
every
shit all
retro
day.
If you bought every retro Jordan, 2008.
oh my God,
2011,
who's doing that?
2016, 2020, right? You bought Jordans, right? Instead of buying the Jordan, you actually purchased the Nike stock. You bought the Nike stock.
You wouldn't have made any fucking money, bro.
Your stock would be worth $55,000 today.
Give me the numbers on that. How much does Nike stock cost? How much does Nike stock cost? How much does Nike stock cost?
And then you got to think about it's at scale.
It matters. I was about to say it matters how much stock you bought. It ain't just gonna randomly be 55,000.
2016 and 2020. How much Nike stock cost? And you had to purchase your Jordans.
Nike stock is $142 a motherfucking share.
How much? So
it would have been a lot to get your shit to 55,000.
Listen,
Jordan's
bro.
minimum
How much does the new release Jordan cost?
Hold up real
How much
quick.
does it cost?
About $200.
$220.
Okay.
So how many shares of Nike can you buy right now?
Not even one and a half. Not even one and a half.
Okay.
Yes.
So look
Not
up how
even
much
one
it
and a
costs
half.
Look up how much it cost in 2008. How much Nike stock cost in
Listen.
2008 and 2001? Because you're about to try to debunk the argument.
I'm not trying to debunk
No,
anything,
you know
but
you
you're-
were because you looked up the number.
Your math is severely off. That's why I asked you how much.
Look up the stock cost in 2001. How much Nike cost? What was Nike
You said
stock cost
2008,
in
not 2001. You said 2008.
2008.
Oh, you said
2020.
I think even if you did, it still wouldn't
So,
amount to that crazy
I can look that up, right? But
55,000.
here's the thing with stocks, right?
They don't.
You have to have large amounts of money to put up on a stock like Nike, or it's not going to make a difference.
to turn that joint into
Purchase that stock
55,000.
for the price
So,
of the shoe and hell.
Let's talk about
Your
today.
stock would be worth $55,000, and it would pay you an average
Let's talk about-
annual dividend of $323.
So let's talk about today, right? Let's say somebody took your advice and they wanted to start doing that today.
Yeah.
That would be a false hope because stocks at that price, right? You need a significant amount of money to put down on that, or it's not going to be worth your fucking while.
No, you
Group
don't.
economics buy it together.
No, you don't. So let's say if back then if the
At $142 a share.
Can I ask a question real quick?
No.
If I'm not-
So what was the
if I'm
cost
not
in
dropping it-
2000
Can I ask a question real quick?
2001.
Can I ask a question?
$40 and the shoe costs 120. How many shares of the stock could you buy?
Can I ask a question real quick? So what you're saying is in 2008, if you would have put 200 down on Nike right now, or even in 2001, if you would have put 200 down on Nike right now, it would be 55. You would have
He said
made
every time.
you would have made 55,000.
So
Yeah,
if
but
you
every
did-
time he only said like 4-year intervals. So every 4
here you go.
years or so, we putting down $200 on Nike.
All right, so 95, if you bought when the Jordans first came out in 95, right? You bought the 11s, they was 125. You could have bought 32 shares of Nike. It was $3.81. In 2000,
Yeah, that would turn
the
into
Jordans
55,000.
cost 125,
You're right.
right? You could have bought 25 shares of Nike. In 2006, you could have bought 28 shares of Nike at $10. December 2011, you could have bought for $220. You could have bought 9 shares of Nike. It was $24 a share. 2011, it was $24.
So you're reading somebody's Facebook page?
No, I'm saying this is the stock.
That's probably what it really was.
Nigga, that's a
at the time.
Facebook post, nigga. We need to check the facts on
I
that.
told you Google what I Googled what the stock price was of Nike.
So look, even what he's saying right there is not gonna equal what you're talking about right now because
It would. Yes,
first of all, you okay.
Has the
At
stock
$10
market
a
lost?
share,
Has the
right?
stock? Hold on. Has the stock market as an index lost money in the last 30 years? The
Yes.
stock market is it up? I'm talking about as a whole.
It's gone up and down. It goes up and down.
No. The
But
stock
it's up,
market is if you invested in the index
It's
in the
up.
last 30 years, it don't matter what stocks you had. If you had more than a few, you made money.
I mean,
it's up.
So here's the thing,
Period.
right?
It's up.
Here's the thing. Let's just say you're correct, okay? Now, how can you us looking at it now, Monday morning quarterback, oh, if I would have did this and I did that, I would have had this. But most people don't have or don't think to throw their money into the fucking stock
And
market.
that's the point. We need mindset
that's what-
shifts.
that's-
If we started taking the money from Christmas and all the other bullshit
Bullshit.
that we waste money on
Well,
and
hold
put
up.
it where it needed to go,
But there's-
we would wake up and we would have
but
some
there's-
money.
but there's
We wouldn't be
still
sitting here
also the
broke.
chance
We
that
wouldn't be
you could
sitting here
lose it all.
bullshitting. We wouldn't be sitting here whining about reparations. That's
Alright,
the
so-
whole point.
I'll tell
Thanks
you
for
what,
bringing it full
I'll
circle.
tell you what.
$20 shoe, unless you keep it in mint condition.
Oh my God.
And put it.
Oh
You
my
wear it
God.
once, put it in the box, and stick it in the closet. It's never going to be worth more money than when you put it on your feet.
So-
and most
so-
niggas got more than one pair of $120 shoes. We gonna have 3-4 pairs.
So I'll
But
say
now
this.
We're teaching right now. Hey, Johnny, buy you a pair of phone
There's something right about what you guys are saying.
Put the $200
There's something right about what you guys are
It's
saying.
mindset
But the
shifts,
method is
dog.
wrong. Okay, you know what? You're right. We do need to change our mentality and do smarter things with our money. You guys are right about that.
Okay.
But what would be smarter and even cheaper, right?
It's begging for reparations.
No. Please. What would be smarter and even cheaper is spending, if you're 21 years old and you go out and get a $500,000 whole term or universal life insurance policy.
Yes, that's another thing we could do.
That's an addition.
Okay.
That's an addition.
Okay, thanks. That's another thing we
At
should do.
$80 a month.
Okay.
So that's an addition.
And you gotta
to
hope
what
the
we talking
21-year-old
about.
can afford that $80 a month. But yes,
have
they
to
should
educate.
should
People
do
don't
just
know
that.
that.
You're absolutely right.
That's what he's saying.
What else?
Have
What
you-
else
have
should
you
we
ever
do
learned-
different?
Have you ever learned
Come
that?
on, keep them coming.
Hold on.
Like, what the
Have you ever learned
fuck?
that
That's
at a
exactly
Christmas
what we were
program?
saying.
Huh?
You ever learned that at a Christmas
Or in
program?
church?
Or at church?
Well, you know, I spent Hanukkah one year with a nice Jewish family.
So that's
I'll
the
leave it
point.
at that.
So that's the point. So when you're talking about Kwanzaa and you sit down and talk to your kid about group economics, they're
I
gonna
mean,
ask,
You can
what is group
literally,
economics?
you can literally go day by day and sit down with these principles and have a
What is
conversation
self-determination?
that will actually make sense to what you should be doing come January 1
I grew up
when
in
this
the type
is
of
over.
family that has these conversations, right?
More power to you.
But
You didn't listen.
the only, no, what are you talking about? I didn't listen. I listened.
Yeah, but that's not average.
But but it's also not average for people to be out here blowing their money on Gucci and all this. Black
But
people are
those are-
severely
hold on, so those
underpaid.
conversations
You
people
keep-
aren't having.
Black
You trying
people
to
are
harp on-
severely
you trying to
underpaid.
harp on Gucci. Black people will go buy Jordans. They'll go out to eat.
They'll buy
They'll go to
Timbs.
Marshalls. It ain't just about they're trying to buy their significance in this culture versus finding their own significance within their family and groups. That's
And
what we gotta. That's,
unity.
and unity. That's what we
One
gotta
thing
do.
I do know, the more money I started making, the more I was actually willing to throw my money into certain things like that.
Great observation.
It
Relevance.
depends too, because I've seen.
If I'm making $15, excuse me,
That's a good point.
You're fine.
sorry.
You're fine.
If I'm making $15 an hour, bro, I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to just throw my money in there because I got the rent I can barely afford,
I mean,
and I got to feed
but
my
that's
kids.
also a very mature mindset. A lot of people aren't coming from that place. A lot of people were like, you know what? I'm gonna either rob, I'm gonna steal or whatever, and I'm gonna get what I can get so that I can be a part of this conversation.
Or one thing you have to remember:
Scam.
the average,
Scamming for
the
sure.
median.
Sell some
Do you know how
drugs,
much?
whatever.
Do you know how much the median black family is actually worth?
No, give us the number.
But that's not relevant to this conversation.
It is definitely relevant to the conversation.
Because we're talking about culture. Whether you have $1,000.
I'm talking about numbers. We're talking about
I'm gonna
finances.
tell you why it's not relevant to what.
How
we're
is it
talking-
not relevant?
I'm about to tell you. If we're not
So
talking,
how much money black people are worth?
Let
is
them
not
tell you
relevant.
why it's not relevant.
I'm gonna tell you why it's not relevant.
I want to hear
I don't
too.
like how you just dismiss.
It's not. I'm
Damn
gonna
it.
tell you, it's not
I do the same
relevant.
thing.
It's not relevant because whether you have an extra $1,000 to invest, $2,000 invest, or you have an extra $25 to invest, based upon what your income
You
is
gotta start
and
somewhere.
your bills, you have to have a mindset that I'm gonna put this towards a financial goal. And black people as a culture, we don't have that. When we have other cultures,
Stop saying
around
we don't
us
have that.
who
We don't.
On a whole
We don't. Can I tell you why we don't?
Some people don't have
Can
it.
I tell you why we don't? Because most of us are living so day to day, check to check, not expecting that like 20-year, 10-year, 15-year return. Like from 2010 to 2020, nobody expected us to be here this quick. And that's like no bullshit.
Like if
So
you
a
put a little
10,
bit
so
of
that
money in
forward
Bitcoin-
mind frame and mindset, a lot of them don't have that, or a lot of us don't have that because we're not even like we're trying to make it day to day. That's just literally the concept and reality that
ask
we
you this.
sit
We
with.
look at
And
the
so
Do you
first-
think
we
people
look at
would
the
be
first-
more open to doing these type of things if they had more money?
Yeah, hell yeah, you
So, I
would,
mean,
and
but
I
that
know
kinda
that.
goes along with what I'm saying.
But what you're saying is it's the only thing, and what we're telling you now
But
is,
there-
and what you
but
have
there-
realized, and what you're trying to piggyback and slide back
No,
over
I'm
to,
just trying
is
to
it's the only
legitimize
thing, and we're
myself
telling
a
you,
little.
yeah, but we're telling you, nah, it's not the only thing though.
black
That's
people
all.
try to
You're right.
assimilate.
That is the quickest way, but it's not the only way. And the reality is,
Well-
they're not going to do that this simple. So let's
When
talk
I-
about the
when
other
I-
ways
when
and
I
focus
say
on
the only
those.
way, because you guys are correct. We do need to adopt some of these principles. Okay, I will recant. I will say, hey, I'll
Okay.
wave the white flag. You
Okay.
guys are
I'm
right
proud of
about
you
that.
today, bro. I'm proud of you.
Okay,
You
that's
guys are right
growth.
about that.
That's growth. Okay,
But
here we go.
it will never happen without reparations.
Okay.
So-
It would never happen.
topic.
Yeah, let's go
I'll
to
give you
the
that
Next
too.
topic.
I'm not gonna argue that
So-
because we gotta get rid of the mindset. The mindset ain't happening either.
So, goddamn, y'all got me all.
I bothered already.
Right, man. What we got?
It bothers you to have to admit
I
when
mean,
you lose, huh?
all of these topics are gonna like coincide, right? T.I., because of his economic upbringing, he thinks that spending time with his daughter can prevent her from being a thot.
Whoa. So we jumping into that right now?
That's it.
Yeah.
Listen.
Okay.
You want
All right.
to pull up?
You want to give some background on the situation?
So T.I. was on his Expeditiously podcast, having conversations about, what T.I. has conversations about.
His daughter.
And he said he had a thing with Little Duval about spending time with their daughters, and they call it thought prevention time. While I'm all for black men spending time with their daughters.
Here comes the feminist.
And understanding them having a model to aspire to, and having a man give them value and show them value, that their value is not intrinsic in their body or in their looks, but they're loved in their value. Like, I commend them and I give them kudos for that. But him perpetuating this, that if you just be around your daughter, it's gonna keep him from being a thot, I think that's frankly short-sighted,
And it's
right?
very unfair.
And it's kind of wild, because let's say he spent every day with his daughter, but his lifestyle is I cheat on my wife, I fuck with bitches, I make music about it, I travel the world. She's not an idiot. Your kids aren't stupid, right? They're gonna model.
Hold up. Do you have any kids? Because kids are pretty stupid.
They're gonna model. They're gonna model what you do, not what you say. Like kids are gonna model you. Like they're gonna model what they think is cool.
They're gonna model pick up on mannerisms. They'll definitely model.
That's why you hide the bad things you do from your children.
How many of us in our 30s now, like, it's always a sobering thing, right? We get around our parents at an old age, and then we do something, and we're like, God damn, as much as we try not to be like them, we do some things or say some things that
like, dang,
exactly like they would say, right? And we could try our best not to do it, but we model what we're around. So for T.I. to say, just because I spend time with my daughter, it's thought prevention. If you've been a thought the whole time around your daughter,
is he being a thought around his daughter though?
He's saying
you just made an assumption.
I'm saying that he's saying just spending time with your daughter is thought prevention time.
It is though.
No, it's what example are you providing?
So I have a question. No. So I have a question.
Ahead.
So do we think he might be coming from a place of daddy issues? Like, okay, because I'm in her life, she's less likely to be a thought.
Right.
Is that where he's
coming
from?
What he's addressing.
I feel like that's true.
Or is he saying that if I'm with her, she can't be out fucking?
No, that's not
which
daddy
which
issue.
one is
daddy
saying?
issue.
If we look at
It could be
T.I.'s
all
history,
encompassing.
It might lean towards the
I
Hyman comment.
I was gonna say T.I. has this thing where he's very militant when it comes to his daughter.
T.I. is kind of like.
But I mean, you can't knock the man for that.
We
Yes,
can.
You can fault the
That's
man.
his fucking child.
You can fault a man going to the doctor with his daughter. And
That's why the liberals got to go. Now they gonna tell you how you, man. Are you fucking or not? You said you live in my house. Are you fucking? That's his right to ask.
But going to the doctor, that's really invasive. And then to put it on the internet, I think that was the other thing. If you want to do that,
That's pretty cool.
fine.
Put it on the internet. Just keep that shit in private. That's private.
That's traumatizing enough.
That's
and now
private.
you've put me out there to millions of people.
But
I ain't fucking with her. Nigga checking her hymen, man.
Yeah, but that's only gonna make her well. So I get it. So
Thought prevention, it worked.
If we're saying that he's coming from a place of because I'm in my daughter's life, then they're less likely to have daddy issues. Fine, but people fail to realize that daddy issues is more than an absent father. Daddy issues is also a father watching them do thought shit, watching them cheat on their mother. Like, you can get daddy issues from just about anything if your father is or isn't involved. And so it's more than just spending time. Like, is it valuable time?
So
are lessons being learned, taught, and are you also treating the women in my life just as nice? Are you treating my mother well? Did you treat, you know what I'm saying, that woman on the corner well, whatever, my aunties? Are all those people being respected by you? Because even those things can build up issues and resentment as well.
So before we delve into speculation, right? Let's look into what he actually said.
Yes.
Okay? All he was saying is that the thought prevention was clearly a joke that he was making for trying to make sure she doesn't have daddy issues. I know most women.
Is that a fact or is that what we're assuming? Because he didn't mention that. I didn't see anywhere where he said
Well, it
daddy
was a
issues.
podcast where they
He
went
said
on
it
and
was
on
a
about
joke.
it.
I didn't
But,
see them say
I mean,
daddy issues or anything.
But you didn't. Did you see the podcast?
I didn't see the whole thing. I just saw the clip.
Right. So all he's saying, and what most men know, most of the women who I have encountered who are just completely reckless sexually, most of them had daddy issues.
Okay.
Most of them. I'm not saying all because there's always an anomaly.
Sure.
But us as men, we've encountered these women a lot. So T.I., a gentleman who's probably encountered a lot of women, probably doesn't want his daughter to experience these same things. It's not a foolproof plan, but it damn sure helps.
Okay, I respect that. I'll take it.
Can I read the quote?
Sure.
All right, he said.
But this was a podcast,
he was having a conversation with 21 Savage. 21 Savage was talking about how he's more protective of his daughters than his son, and he said, "Well, my son can't get pregnant." And then T.I. chimed in and said,
he can get somebody pregnant though.
Yeah, you can't keep her from running to one of them niggas, right? I guess that's it. Try to dog her out or whatever. Me and Little Duval call it thought prevention hours. Keep your daughter off the pole. You spending time going to daddy-daughter dances and taking her on trips when it's just you and her, those are thought prevention hours.
So that's what I'm trying to understand. Is it thought prevention hours in terms of the time he's putting in means that there won't be daddy issues?
He said if you don't do that, they're going to be somewhere in Magic City trying to figure it out. This is absolutely necessary as a father.
He's right, though.
If you ain't putting in your thought prevention hours and your daughter end up a dancer, don't blame her.
I don't like this.
You did not,
but that's
that
that's
example.
I don't shame sex workers. Like, I'm okay with strippers and people that whatever. I don't do that.
okay.
I mean,
I don't know where to start.
Hold on.
I don't know where to start.
It's morally hard for him to stand on that ground because of his
lifestyle.
His lifestyle.
As a rapper, like that's all he ever
Bro.
What?
Listen to what I'm telling y'all right now.
Even his wife did what she could to look like a stripper.
Listen to what I'm telling y'all right now.
Surgery and all that.
Listen to what I'm telling y'all.
Is it morally flawed? I don't know.
T.I. is 1,000% correct in what he said. You have to show your daughter. You have to show your daughter what a man, what she should expect of a man, how a man should be treating her, right? If she doesn't know how a man's supposed to treat her, like he said, they want to run to one of these niggas out here. Listen, a nigga with mommy issues,
that's a real
will
thing.
fuck up a girl with daddy issues.
Yeah.
Dudes
all
with
day in the
mommy
paint. And most of these niggas with mommy issues got daddy issues too.
Yes. Yes, that's the real thing.
So I mean, it's a two-way problem. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
It's a two-way problem.
Yes, I'm with you on that. I do believe that, spending the right type of time with your children, your daughters, especially men, you're definitely putting the good work out there so that they're living better lives as women. However, I do not shame sex workers. If you decide that you want to strip, if you want to have an OnlyFans, whatever the case is, I don't shame you for that. And I don't think that having a dad in your life is going to prevent any of those things. Could it change the likelihood? Maybe, but it's not a prevention that's a foolproof plan.
I would say it's about
that as well.
85% effective.
It'll give you faith. It'll give you strong
And I'll say
faith.
this, time got to be quality.
Faith is the word of the day.
If it's
not just sitting around each other.
Let's say it's a guy who he travels for work. He might be a salesman or like a attorney or something like that.
Vacuum cleaner salesman.
He spends
Knives,
you know what I'm saying, 2 to 3 days in his daughter's life. But you may have a T.I. or a T.I.S. type of rapper or entertainer who, openly flaunts what they do in their lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Spending 3 to 4 days a week. The healthy relationship with the salesman versus the 4 days a week where you're lying to your daughter, you're covering things up. Like, that 2-day-a-week guy is going to have a much more healthy relationship than the 4-day-a-week liar. The 4-day-a-week treater, the 4-day-a-week.
But I don't think that's that's not the conversation here, though.
Because
now
we're just debating. He's saying.
I mean, because now we're making indictments.
I
on people
think
when
what it
the bottom line
is We
You
spend
had
too
to
much
talk.
time. Now, that's all good. I think we spend a lot of time thinking that you're only spending the time and they're not having conversation and like doing real father-daughter type stuff.
yes.
Like when you're with your kid, you're not just hanging with them. You spending time with them, explaining to them these different like real life situations that you could end up in and what you should be doing, what you might end up wanting to do, why
dads having
doing
that
this thing or the other
Definitely.
thing is wrong. Yeah, I think they are.
A lot of
I think
dads
that's
don't
his
know
whole
what to do
point.
with girl children.
Yeah, but I think his whole point is he kind of does. Like he been out here in these streets
I
enough to
receive
see
that.
women out
but
here.
I will say,
Like-
from my own experience, at least a lot of us, you know, my parents were born in the 50s. My dad was like, I don't know what to do with a girl. Like, he really didn't know what to do with me. So it was like, well, I want to take you to a park, but I don't want you to be too rough. I don't want you to get scars on your legs. You know, like, so I'm happy now that the conversation has been pushed forward, that men are now spending time with their daughters and they're having conversations. Because for a fact, my father, I think we didn't have like a sex talk until I was probably like in college, and all he said was, "Don't pass your pants around." That was his way of saying, you know, don't be a thought. But they don't know how to have these conversations because they're also coming from a place of trauma. Like I said, now I don't know how old y'all parents are, but again,
My parents were born in the 50s.
parents being born in the 50s.
60s.
Yes, there's a different type of energy that they came with because they were building off from something else. Like they came from a very hard time.
I
And
agree.
So us right now, we are in a very good place to educate our daughters. And so I
Yeah.
do encourage y'all to do that. But I think it's concerning when people openly admit, like, I'm harder on my daughter than I am on my son.
Well, no, Hardy. Well, he said he was more protective over his daughter.
Even
But I
then,
also
that's
think,
crazy.
I think to your point though, I think those parents weren't having them type of conversations. Like my mom didn't have no real serious conversations about damn near anything with me for real. You know what I'm saying?
Your moms about
So
like pregnancy and or sex. And
My
or-
father, I had that talk with my father. My
yeah, I ain't had that talk with my mom.
My father was the talk
talker?
king. That nigga would talk. If you want
But,
to talk about
but
something,
that's
you
what I
talk.
mean, and
But like-
I think dads be more more liable to have that conversation than moms for real in a lot of situations.
T.I. tried
Honestly.
to fucked up, though.
Yeah,
he put his,
the
way
he
he
put his
puts
daughter's
his-
sexual health on
All right, but you know
That's
what
a
though?
lie.
That's his daughter,
That's a
and she's a
lie.
minor, and
But that's a
that's the
lie.
way he chooses to raise his family.
That's a lie, bro.
So I'm not going to shit on the man. I do think that he shouldn't have. You don't need to mention shit like
Yeah.
that.
Now we are all advocates for dads being in their
like
daughter's
be in your
lives,
daughter's
so-
life, but don't like that's one. That's
You ain't
one
gotta
thing being around
publicize all of it.
teenage girls, the
Yeah,
last
if
thing
any-
you wanna do
if anything,
is
I
talk about
publicize my son.
sexual or,
Like-
like, dang, you're embarrassing. That's their thing once they hit puberty. Don't embarrass me, Dad.
not
Like,
embarrass
Don't
me.
embarrass me.
But
And he goes to
Constantly.
I got 5 million followers. I'm just gonna say all the wildest shit I can say about my
Everybody.
daughter. And I'm gonna say it because I'm a good dad.
But
And
when
that
it- when it
reflects-
comes
that
to-
reflects me a dad that's overcompensating.
But that also reflects where the era that T.I. grew up in as well. Because T.I. knows the things that he's done. I always find that men that don't trust other men is because y'all are fucked up men. Like, y'all know what y'all did in y'all past. Y'all know the type of snake shit that y'all have done. And so
men that
T.I.
don't trust other men.
Yeah, but I feel like when y'all don't trust other men, I feel like it comes from a place of like trauma.
You
like,
don't know what it's like to be a man.
I don't. But I said that's why I feel. I didn't say I know. I said I feel.
So that's a whole different conversation.
That's fair. But what I feel is that
It ain't even gotta be you. You just know a lot of trash men.
that's what I'm saying. I feel like,
Like,
a lot
you
of
ain't gotta
times
be
y'all
one.
don't trust. Like I feel like a lot of times when y'all don't trust other women, it's because like, dang, I know niggas that sleep with women that say they got boyfriends, so I can't trust no woman either. Like it comes from a place. It's not just out of nowhere. And I think that T.I.'s what he's doing, he's coming from a place of like trauma and things of that nature. And I think, like I said before, it's unfair to give your daughter this quality time when you're still cheating on her mom. Or when you dogged her mother out, and whatever the case is,
to be objective,
T.I.
she
did
definitely
cheat on Tiny.
She definitely cheated on him.
they cheated on T.I. was what?
Remember the
T.I.
Floyd
never
Floyd
cheated?
Mayweather
So
situation?
T.I. never cheated beyond
say that he
before
didn't.
Floyd?
It's just they
He
both
with
did.
Bernice, I forgot her name.
I mean, but they're
she's
both
cutie.
okay. But
Bernice
they're both
something.
in the limelight. I mean, that's what they.
Oh, he just went to the both.
Hold on.
You see that? Yeah.
I heard rumors that they.
They probably
like
got a
that.
whole
Something
open,
like that.
whole
I
open
think-
relationship.
I
They can
don't
do whatever they
we're
want.
veering off too much because the point
That's
is.
fair, but as a man, more than spending quality time with your daughters, you also have to be a quality man. You have to show up as a good man. So I can take you on as many ice cream dates and have sex talks. But if I'm out here dogging women and trashing women, and you can see and feel
Hold
that
up.
energy,
Who has he dogged or trashed?
Tiny. He was very controlling of Tiny. If you don't know their history, Tiny couldn't even do an escape tour because T.I. was like, nah, you're not doing that. Tiny finally does the tour, makes so much money, makes this crazy comeback and all of that. If you think for 1 second that Tiny got all this cosmetic surgery for fun, you're crazy. If T.I. was praising Tiny like he was supposed to, there's no reason she would want blue eyes, no reason she would want a bigger butt.
Well, what you're saying then is that thought prevention hours matter.
I do think that.
That's what I say.
Quality thought prevention matters. I don't want to call it
Like
that.
if you're a trash nigga and you spend 20 hours with your daughter,
why would he not
like
want
a
you?
trash nigga?
That's what I'm saying.
Why would he?
But that's also not necessarily true.
Okay. So
just quality. Be a quality.
I don't even
man.
want to argue about T.I. because this is all
speculation.
Sure.
I don't know. Google
his,
T.I. cheating.
His message was very clear and very important.
Speculation.
Now, granted, the way he said it was just his delivery. T.I. has some terrible.
And I'll
delivery
say this
outside
before
of
you
his-
guys say it. You could say the same thing about the nigga who invented Kwanzaa.
Fair enough. So all I would like to say,
I'll say it before you guys say it.
Make sure if you're going to spend
You can say
quality
the same
time
thing
with
about
your
the nigga.
daughter, also show her a quality man outside of the time that you spend with her. So the way you treat animals, the way you treat waitresses, the way you treat people that are like helpers and things like nature, you can do more than just being, let's go get ice cream and talk about the birds and the bees.
Well, I mean, for the record, we don't know what T.I.'s.
We don't
know.
But
we
for what,
don't. All I'm
for
saying
what
is-
T.I. put on the record so far,
Yeah, just be a good man
I can make some
outside of that
reasonable
too.
assumptions.
Well, I mean, like I said, that's his household. Normally, I'm ready on the T.I. bashing train.
No, we're
But-
not bashing
We're
him.
not bashing him. I'm just saying.
Because I cannot stand when T.I. starts talking the shit like he knows politics and shit like that. I hate it.
Based upon his previous history of number one, not needing the money but putting his kids on a reality show. Number two, of always exposing his kids' personal business and personal life. Number three, the way he's very liberal with talking about his family, wife, and that. Like, you don't strike me as a man who's spending that type of quality time that's going to prevent.
But you don't know that. That's not a fair statement.
That's very judgmental of you.
No. I can understand.
He strikes me. He strikes me as the type of guy.
I haven't.
And he was locked up for a couple of years.
That's bias.
So I have an understanding of.
You got an understanding that I don't.
And how that affects the children.
Yes.
You don't have any children.
We don't have that
So you
understanding.
don't have to have children to understand how that affects
controlling
children.
man.
Why
I've children for 20 years.
I have that
Certified
understanding too.
In youth development, youth mental age.
Certified in youth development? What the fuck does that mean?
You
That's
don't
a real
know.
thing.
Because it's not,
That's
you
a
have
real
to
thing.
Nigga, are you certified in changing Pampers and doing all that?
I never changed that.
Are you certified?
So I'm certified youth mental health, first aid,
That's
youth
a real
development, all these things where
Did he say first
when
aid?
you have mental health.
He said first
mental
aid.
Health, first aid. So when
You just gonna throw all your certifications out there at once.
A kid with trauma, you understand.
You
He's
diagnose
Dr.
the kids?
Umar.
You have to
He's Dr.
understand-
Umar.
He's Dr. Umar Cosby.
You have to understand how an overbearing parent affects a child. They think they're doing well, and that's the same child when they get to college, they cut loose
Wow.
because they've been under.
Did you just say you diagnose children?
So this father thinking
He's
I'm
not
doing
trying to
the
revisit
best. This father thinking I'm doing the best for my child
Oh
by
my God.
hovering over him, checking everything, doing all this thing. The moment their child gets away from them, they go
It's
crazy.
on. It's
they
on.
get loose.
And those
we've
are
all
form of daddy
we've all-
issues,
yeah,
too.
We've all been around young adults, women and men. Once they get away from their parents who've been overbearing to them, they
rebel.
The complete opposite. Because they had no balance. They had no leeway. They had no understanding in their household that you can make mistakes. But what I taught you is going to take you, through your adulthood, and you're going to make good decisions. Not making decisions for your child up until their adult age, and they get to make all decisions for themselves. They go crazy.
Donations.
I gotta let you get me off my
You
square.
did good. I was surprised. I was like, oh my gosh.
My
did
nigga,
good.
though, you said you diagnose kids?
So you have to, if you work with kids,
In order to put 'em in
if
groups.
you work with kids on a regular basis, you have to recognize when kids are going through trauma.
You said diagnose.
Stop talking. If you're gonna ask me a question, stop talking. So you have to be able to recognize if you work with children, any capacity, camp, teacher, when you work with kids on a regular
Mentors.
basis, if you're serious about the work you do, you have to be able to recognize when kids are being abused at home. Because you're a mandated reporter. You have to report if you recognize kids are being abused mentally, physically, or emotionally. So there's classes to teach you to recognize if Johnny keep coming to your office every day feeling sad.
I just asked about the diagnosis.
Wanting to follow you around, wanting to like have an unhealthy. If a kid has an unhealthy attachment to you, you have to recognize the signs of what's going on with a kid. So you do have to be able to diagnose situations.
Oh, you diagnose situations.
You still diagnose.
I like how you brought it home at the end. I like how you brought it home. I was like,
Okay.
where's the answer to the diagnosis question?
So you diagnose.
So you diagnose
First he said he
situations.
diagnosed children.
Children
Now
in-
you
children in situations.
Well, no argument.
Oh well, no. So let's clarify. Children and situations.
Okay.
So if let's say your kid was in my camp, right? Well, I'm not gonna say somebody's kid was in my camp, right?
You can say me, it's fine, bro.
And Monday and Tuesday, they was cool. Everything, they happy, they jovial kid. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they show up with bruises, knots, they're sad.
They're trying to fight everybody.
I have to pull this kid to a side and talk to them and find out, are you okay? That's still diagnosing the kid. You gotta have a conversation with the child to get some understanding. Right?
Some kids
but
do
the only thing
bullshit
about
like that,
that
but they don't
is
get a PlayStation.
when you
Yeah, some
actually
kids-
say like,
some kids do, but that's what the conversation.
but when
comes.
you actually say like diagnose though, that it takes it into a whole
Well,
nother
you still
term
have- so from a-
where it has to be like.
I didn't say a medical diagnosis,
I
but
feel
you
you.
have to. Anybody can.
You have to be able to assess the
Yeah, if you
situation.
pull up to somewhere, you have to make a diagnosis of what's going on. So
I understand. When we're talking about the definition of the word, yeah, but when we're talking about what it means when we actually talking about working with kids.
Well,
So the assessment.
Yeah.
assessment.
That's all.
You have to assess the situation.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
So, but if you
I
make
feel
a
you.
decision from an assessment, that's still a diagnosis.
Yeah,
To
based on
snitch or
definition.
not to snitch.
I feel you.
If you make an assessment, man, this kid getting fucked up at home, and you got to write paperwork about it, that's like abuse.
Yeah, I don't want to dwell on the definition. I was just saying by
That's fair.
by definition,
Okay, so we
yes,
all
I
agree
understand.
that the thoughts
I just had to clear
Yeah.
that up. That like from someone who has expertise in the area, I've looked at young adults who have been overbearing by their parents when they have and they don't have a healthy balance. When they get out, they out.
I just would like to say,
That's
hold
when
on.
they turn
I
into
want to
thoughts.
say,
We all got those friends that
hold on.
their
I
parents
want to
was
say
too,
that
was too strict on
you
them.
started
And when they
all
got
of
to college,
that.
they lost their mind.
But you
They
started
thought-
all of
what do they
that.
do?
But
They
you
thought-
started all of that by
that's
saying
what they thought.
he strikes you as the type. And what I'm
does.
saying is, I have all of these same realities of work and expectations and diagnoses and all of that. And I don't spend enough personal time with his kid, him, any of these people to know what he does to see if he's overbearing or not overbearing, all of that. I just hear what he says on a podcast. So what I'm saying is he doesn't strike me as that type. I feel like the exact
Somebody just say
opposite.
that they go to the doctor with their 17-year-old daughter.
Yeah, I would want you
check her hymen.
They
That's
just
overbearing
they
to
just
me.
passed a law that says 11-year-olds can now
Make their own medical decisions.
make their own medical decisions. So I don't want to hear that. I'm over that now.
See, that's like
That
a
was
whole-
cool.
that's a
That was
whole
cool up
completely
until
different situation.
nah, dog. I was okay up until now. I want parents to be as involved as possible in their kids' health lives
Yes,
until
but to
that
say,
kid says,
I
"Yeah,
make
nah, I'm
my
not gonna do it
daughter go
anymore."
Yearly to get her hymen checked. That's very overbearing. That's
So what?
crazy.
How's that
Feel you.
overbearing?
Because
If you get pregnant, who's paying
Parent
for your
how you got a
motherfucking
parent.
children?
No. So that the reason it's overbearing is because you intentionally go to make sure she's a virgin because apparently she could never have sex and take preventative measures while having sex. Apparently she couldn't do that.
Apparently, she's 17 years old, living under my roof, and if I don't want her to have sex, and I told her not to do something, that's within
And
my
if
right.
I'm gonna be the one
then
paying
what-
paying
so
for
if
that
her
next
hymen is
kid,
broken at
And then
17,
what?
what
And
is
then
he gonna do?
Then what?
take that next
Doesn't
step when you
matter.
get there.
That's something
No,
that-
it absolutely matters. Then what?
I don't think it matters to us because I think they
Man,
already.
somebody's
I think
gotta
they
handle
already
this
have the
house.
understanding that says if I go to the doctor and your hymen is broke, whatever happens next, maybe it's you gotta move out. You and your kid gotta go move out. I didn't champion anything up to that point. What I
mean,
said was that's
don't
not
even-
my business. That's their
I don't even
agreement.
know what
I don't
his
know what their
reasoning
agreement
is.
is
I don't
because
know
I'm not
what
the
his
one taking them to the
reasoning is.
doctor.
There's
For-
no reason as a woman,
You
as
can't.
a woman, there's nothing you can tell me.
As a girl,
There's nothing you can tell me.
as his daughter.
But I'm just saying, for me, as someone who had a hymen at one point, there's nothing you can tell me to make me understand why you need to get me and my hymen checked every year, especially now that I'm 17 and you just told the world, what is the logic? There's no logic.
It's logic.
I would agree with that part. But
Teenagers,
what's done is
teenagers
done.
lie and they do a lot of.
Checking his sons? Is he checking his
Hell
sons?
no, he's probably like,
count?
son, nigga, you ain't get no pussy yet.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Therein lies the issue.
That's life. That's reality. That's the way society works.
What?
So if his son had a baby, who paying for it?
That's just like the point. What I was saying was.
But I'm just
if
saying,
his
are
son,
we getting
if
this
his
son?
son got somebody pregnant,
Why you ask a
17,
question and then when I start to answer, you say, nah, ask the same question. I didn't say that because
you said that's society.
I didn't
that was
get.
your answer.
I didn't say society. That's what he just said. I said that's actually just like the point. What I'm saying is he don't want to have to pay for this kid who's going to be coming into that house if she births a kid.
So what about
He's the one that's the provider right now. What I'm saying is those people he might be providing for them as well. I don't know what he does for his sons to make sure they are not having sex. You don't have no proof to make sure they are not having sex. What I know is he not going to be taking that other person up into that house. It's the people who live under your roof. If she has another baby, she's under my roof. That baby's now going to be under my roof. If he has another baby, they'll be wherever they are. I might have to fund them however I'm funding them, but they not moving in.
They could be because
if that's how he. But what I'm saying is, if that's how he approaches it, listen, hold on. I want y'all to understand. What I'm saying is, if that's how he approaches it, that's how he approaches his household. He could be telling his sons, if y'all have a kid, you're going to go out and take care of your kid. I'm not funding it. I'm not doing any of that. He could be telling his daughter the same thing, but his daughter might not be the one that's going to go out there and get a job and do all of that and work for her kid as well. And he's telling you, I will take care of you for as long as you're not out here doing things that will have me not want to take care of you anymore. And if that means having a kid coming in my house, then that's what that straw is. And that's what I'm saying. So if he has to make that clear for her, then he's making that clear for her. It's the same for both of your kids. It's not dangerous. It's the same thing for the son. It wasn't dangerous to tell the son that. When I said that about the son, it wasn't dangerous. So what I'm saying is it works both ways. You didn't say that though. So you're saying it's dangerous both ways though. So for the son and for the daughter.
It's dangerous because you're making your relationship with your children transactional. Like if you do this, if you do that, it's not an unconditional
but
love.
the world is transactional.
I was about to say that's everything.
The world is
if somebody do you wrong, you're not sitting here still just fucking with them.
Do you understand that family is not just family, is business as well? You understand that, right?
But those are competing ideologies. You can't say I'm spending thought prevention time and I have this theory that if I do this, everything's cool. But then you have a transactional relationship over here.
I would agree. If you're spending thought prevention hours and trust your daughter to not have to go check her hymen. I feel you on that.
Kids pick up on that. Right, so that's what I'm saying. Daddy-daughter time ain't just about spending time. If you spending trash time, the daughter's gonna want to trash.
How much faith does he have?
With a quality guy,
we don't know whether or not it's
how much faith does he have that his thought prevention hours are working if he still has to go take his daughter every year to get her hymen checked? Yes. That's the thing. He sounds like he's bullshitting by even feeling like the thought prevention hours works if you still got to take your daughter to get her hymen checked.
There's more than one way to skin a cat.
At the end of the day,
no pun intended.
Or protect the hymen.
Bye. What's next?
You can get one of them chastity belts.
Yo, that should be the name of this episode. More than one way to skin a cat.
More than one way to protect the cat.
Whether it's Christmas or Kwanzaa, whether it's thought prevention hours or hymens.
The football player.
Oh yes.
We ain't talking about that. It's like
Look, y'all,
Trip out here getting faked out.
We got 10 minutes.
Oh,
so
shit.
I say we should go into our final thoughts.
Dang, I was really excited about that topic.
You was excited about him looking like a fool, thinking they were serious.
That was definitely
But
a hoax.
beyond that, just a topic in general. Like I think submission in the black community, especially black women, I think that's a dope topic to discuss. So maybe next time.
I think we can have 5
Especially
minutes.
as black
We can
men.
do 5. I think we can do 5 minutes on that. So based upon that video, the viral video of the white young lady taking care of the football player, and she was putting large scoops of sugar in his eggs.
She said that's what he likes.
Yeah, I feel like that was a hoax.
I feel like y'all need more detail for what they talking about.
If he's in the NFL, he's not eating that.
That's not true.
It's a highly unlikely he's eating that.
What?
It's possible. But it did look like trash.
Them niggas eat
He's
anything.
not eating.
Nah, they low-key got strict
He had
diets.
2 cups of sugar and syrup in eggs. I ain't never in the history of black men. I've never seen nobody do that.
But he's
Me
also
neither.
dating a white woman, so you just never know.
So either he's like an anomaly of black men, or it was a hoax. But even if it is a hoax, that opens up the topic of black women being submissive versus white women. I think traditionally white women have had the space and the economic freedom to be housewives and be submissive and not have to be as strong for their family, community, and race because they've had advantages in this country. As opposed to black women, they've traditionally had to be warriors, be taking care of the household, bear the children, equal work. Even to this day, most very successful black households, you have two incomes coming in. There are very few black households in this country that are very successful with one income. And even if they are, most high value black men and women tend to get together unless it's a rich dude that just got a sugar baby. Most of the time, high net worth black people are marrying each other.
For the record, though, that's America, period, at this point.
Yeah. So
no one can really afford to live in a...
And when America sneezes, black people catch the flu. So if that's the case in America right now, that most families have to have two incomes, that is definitely going to be the case for black households. And then as a black man going out and facing the world, facing certain challenges, microaggressions in corporate America, and just trying to live as a black man, we shoulder a lot and then come home. And we fail to take it into account that our women go through the same thing, and then we get into odds because we like, why don't you just understand, take care of me, blah, 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 not understanding that they go through the same thing. But from a woman's perspective, she doesn't understand you're not seen as a threat the same way a black man is seen as a threat, just walking into place. If you're an attractive woman in America, you are economically more advantaged right now than the black man. If you're an educated black woman in America, you're economically advantaged over the black man. So our ego is on the line, right? This system is set up to put us in a place where our ego is fucked up, where we are at odds with our family, we are at odds with our black women.
Competing.
Because we aren't put in a position to be the leaders in a household like we're supposed to be. Coming from all the way up from welfare that took black men out of the home, and put us in a bad economic position. The prison industrial complex, the war on drugs, it has ravaged the black man and ravaged our community.
And our sense of family.
Yeah, we're trying to catch up.
I mean,
right?
I'm glad you brought up welfare, though, because I think what it all boils down to is that you submit to who's taking care of you. I mean, you got a lot of black households, like you said, that they both work. And a lot of times, the woman submits to her boss more so than her husband because her boss is the one giving her that paycheck, giving her the security. See, women, and this is no offense to women, but like, no matter how tough these feminists talk on Twitter, because those are the ones who are complaining about this, black feminists.
Because it was the way that the video came out.
No matter how tough you talk as a woman, you're gonna bow down to whoever's giving you security, and that's what it is at the end of the day. She's giving that man security. I mean, he's giving that woman security. He's giving that white woman security, and she's following suit.
Offer the same security as black women.
I just said no, you're not.
So that's the issue. So, as a woman, I did used to think that the word submission was like a really bad word. It was like, no, I'm not submitting to no man. I'm not doing this, and it's crazy because black fathers aren't teaching submission. That's not what they're telling us to do. They're telling us to be independent, go get your own, never depend on a man for anything. And then you get into the real world and you meet a man that's like, oh, you don't submit, you don't take my leadership serious. And it's like, for whatever how many years you've been in your dad's household.
Your father told you that?
You're not teaching your daughter to be independent?
So I don't, me personally, I'm teaching my daughters to learn how to make money and put themselves in a position to support themselves if they need to, but I know that ideologies like that aren't conducive to a good community.
Well, no, that's what I know. So again, my dad was born in the 50s, and for him, it's like, no, you can't depend on a man for anything because, you know, at this time, men
But he was being realistic because it's a lot of niggas that's fucked up out here.
Yeah, and people,
so I don't
in the
knock
household,
him for that.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you all have pushed the conversation further as a newer generation because you're coming from a more healed place. Our parents, not so much. And all they knew was like, you got to survive out here and you got to get it on your own because at any point, this man might just leave.
I mean, I'm speaking from the perspective of a lucky person because both sets of grandparents married forever, raised their kids.
That's not normal at all.
Neither of my grandmothers worked. Now my mom worked and my dad worked. because you have to. But my mom still played her role as a mom and a wife.
No, but that's
because
the
my
thing.
father worked extra hard. That nigga was a principal by day and worked at Giant Food at night.
That's the thing, though.
So that nigga's chicken breasts and everything was wrapped up ready for him when he got off. His clothes were laid out because she realized what he was willing to do to keep his family secure, even though she worked
but
too.
their children, did they instill? You have a sister or anything?
I got 5 sisters.
Did their father say submit to a man, learn how to submit? Did he teach that?
Those aren't. I mean, nobody who.
No, but just saying. But did he teach that?
No,
The values. The
You
values.
said he
the
got
values-
some independent bosses.
But that's what I'm saying. The values that dads teach daughters has nothing to do with submitting to a man. They don't teach you how to love a black man. They really don't. All they do is tell you, get it on your own. Don't ever depend on nobody. You can't, because you don't want to owe anybody. You don't want anybody to take things from you. So for me, the word submit used to be like a really bad word. It sounded scary because it's like, I feel like I'm giving up too much control. I feel like I'm giving up too much of myself. So then,
But submission works both ways.
but so that's the thing. So then I turned 30 and I'm like, holy shit, this is different. Submitting for me, I still don't like the word submit because it sounds like you don't have a choice. So I prefer to use the word surrender because I decided.
Damn, that sounds worse.
Surrender
I
sounds
decided to
worse than
step up
submit.
because submission sounds to me like
They're both pretty bad.
I know it's fine.
Nah, if you
fine,
think about
pretty
fine.
bad.
UFC, if somebody make you submit, like they
Like
force you to
you
do
are
it,
forced
it's
into like,
submission,
you know what I'm
But
saying?
if you
Surrender
surrender,
is
you
the
wave
same
the white
thing.
flag.
You throw your hands up and it's.
Yeah,
again,
you
give me a
giving it.
second,
You
give me a
right. It
second.
makes sense now,
For me,
but still, that shit
surrendering
trippy.
is a choice. For me, surrendering sounds like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I've decided I'm done. I don't want to fight you on this. I don't want to do that. Submission sounds to me like you're going to do it, and until you get this through your head, I'm gonna keep beating it into you, whatever.
I see the
These
difference.
are all semantics, and that's fine.
That's
I
trippy,
get
though.
that. So for me, I don't use the word submit. I use the word surrender. And honestly, I want to surrender. The thing is, it's really difficult to surrender to a man because men aren't whole. They don't always come to relationships whole. So they might be financially stable, but emotionally, they're not.
But those-
Physically, they're not. And so when you're trying to submit, and every man thinks he's worthy of submission, and he's not. Every man thinks he's worthy of being surrendered to, and he's not, just because he's a man. Those are those Christian principles that's like, oh, the man is the head of the household, and and the wife is this, and everything trickles down from that. So when it gets to that, I feel like I want to surrender, and I feel like a lot of black women want to surrender, but we have to trust our men to make good decisions, more than just financial decisions. I have to trust you in these streets when you're dealing with other women. I have to trust you emotionally with my own feelings, my own pride, and my own ego. I have to trust you on so many levels so that I can surrender to you and trust that you're not gonna have me out here looking crazy or broke or anything that relates to just my health as a woman.
Okay, I hear that. But one thing we got to understand is that trying to relegate submission to religion, that's out of here. Men have to be the head of the household. Why? Because you can't go out here and fuck up no other men or no other groups of men.
No, I don't disagree.
So-
but
so what I'm saying is, if you don't have a man-
Christianity
so
put
what-
it in your ear as if
Well, if that's Christianity, that's a part of Christianity that's vital.
no, but the way they say it, Christianity is like because
I mean,
he's a man, you submit. That's not enough for me.
I mean, whatever
You
it
having a
says,
penis doesn't mean that you deserve submission.
I agree.
So Christianity is like no.
But it also-
Christianity,
but it
Christianity
also-
does perpetuate that. Though,
If
because
he's a
if you look
man-
at Christianity versus, let's say, Islam or maybe some African culture, like you have to be worthy of that. Like if you want multiple wives,
You gotta be able to afford them.
You have to be able to afford it. Like
No,
versus,
Christianity is like if
versus
you-
Christianity, nigga, you just was born.
Like even in the vows,
women's
your
post-
marriage vow, your
I
wedding
mean,
vows.
all of these religions are fucked up and contradict each other every other fucking paragraph. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
Fair.
It's
That's
all
fair.
fake. But what isn't fake is the fact that one reason that our community has been infiltrated is because the women fell for that feminist
I agree.
bullshit.
I agree.
These white women got y'all out here looking crazy. Ain't
Burning
no
your
other
bras,
group.
I agree.
Ain't no other group of women out here talking about something. Fuck the men. No, you can't advance in a society without men.
I agree.
So, but
Now,
I
if you were
didn't
going
know
up against
that.
a bunch of women, cool.
But I didn't know
y'all
that.
would win
That's
all
the
day.
thing.
But you're not gonna out.
But that wasn't perpetuated, even in media, even in households, because the neighborhood that I grew up in, it was no fathers. There were none. And the fathers that were there, they were either on something, they had a couple of other women in the neighborhood. It was a different type of era, you know what I'm saying? So we are coming from a more healed, more understanding generation. So you all are starting something that wasn't the case back when we were growing up. It just wasn't. You are different. You know what I'm saying? You had a different type of household, but a lot of us grew up without dads being in the house. They were weekend dads, or they were child support check dads.
I'll say
you know
this.
what I'm saying? That kind of thing.
Before we go to final thoughts,
And the white women had a perspective that is related to religion, that they've reached the glass ceiling in their social hierarchy, right?
That's a fact.
Like they're better than their economic status and social economic status is better than everybody else, but in their household they still are number 2.
Facts.
And that manifested their whole little women's movement.
But they aren't number 2.
No,
But that's the thing. They
no,
didn't even
no,
white
they're
men
not-
didn't
they're
even
not
give them the
number-
right to
yeah,
vote.
Yeah,
In their minds, they're number 2.
no,
Like,
they're number 2.
bro, let me tell you something.
They're number 2.
As a white woman, if you can sit on your ass all day while this motherfucker is going out slaughtering every group to feed you so you can live high on the hog, and all he has to do is die and leave you everything, what the fuck are you talking about? You're number 1. Because he's putting his life on the line every day, fucking with
Yeah, but white
every other
women,
race.
they didn't even get the right to vote when
They're
their
not-
men got the right to vote. Like,
Fucking-
Y'all care about voting too much.
Like,
no,
Women
I'm just
care.
saying, as an example, I don't care, but as an example, so white women are seeing this, and white women don't make as much money as their men. Black women, we don't have that problem. So I will never say that I'm a feminist, because I'm not. I'm a womanist, a black womanist at that, because the issues that I'm fighting for are the issues that you're fighting for. Police brutality, the wage gap in terms of the race and things of that nature. White women are fighting to be paid as much as their men. We don't have that problem. We're
Right.
paid more than y'all.
Which is,
I want to hold
this
on
is
real
why
quick.
white women don't have a valid
I want to set the
right?
disclaimer real quick that voting is still important, but I just mean like we set the barometer at they can't even vote or they
Right.
can't
Well, no,
vote,
just
and we act
nothing.
like
Well, it was
damn,
just a
like
quick
there's so
If
many
I'm a
other
white
things.
woman, what do I care to vote for when the man in my house?
That means-
Listen, hold
That
on.
means so that's a pretense
You're not
that
letting me
they have
finish.
to have a man
Bro,
in the
you
house
can't- you
that
can't-
have a say in society. You
can't-
said it right there.
You can't assess what I'm saying until I fucking say it, bro.
No, what you
Let me
said,
say what the.
what you
Calm
first
down, I
said
haven't
that.
fucking
You
said it.
I
haven't fucking said
No,
it.
you said
Let
I
her
have
finish
a
though.
woman-
But let her-
I haven't
You
fucking.
said as a
I
white
haven't.
woman, if
I
I have
haven't.
a man
I
in
haven't.
the house.
I haven't. I haven't
did.
fucking said it.
All right, so
So let me finish. If I'm a white woman, right, and I'm just speaking white women in general, back then, right? If the white man is going out here from country to country, slaughtering motherfuckers, taking all the wealth, what do I give a fuck about a vote for? This nigga obviously knows what he's doing. Because I'm eating good and I got niggas to beat if I feel like it.
So as a woman,
Yeah.
What I'm saying, like, what do you want to vote for?
So as a woman in general,
You just
right?
undermining this nigga's whole plight.
So you got to realize,
And then when he dies, all the work that he put in, it goes to you.
And
So
for
as-
clarity,
so
real
as-
quick,
so as
the
a
reason
woman
why
voting-
white women vote so sided with the white man is because of that very reason. They wanted to get that extra vote in just to go ahead and continue to get their wealth that they want.
So
It ain't
as a-
even
so
like
as
they
a-
got
so
it
as a
and did
woman
something
in-
different with the
a woman
vote.
in general in society, right? Especially back then, there were so many caveats and rules for you to be placed in that position that you're talking about. Every white woman didn't get placed right there. It's what family you came from, were you married at a certain time, can you have children? It's so many caveats, but as men that we never have to worry about. Even to this day, like we'll get rich, we'll find a younger girl, we do our thing, we'll find a woman. And the flip side, if that pussy gets worn out too much, you have too many kids, you lose your looks, you gain weight. Like, it's so many factors that make you get placed in that position to get married. So say, for instance, you don't qualify as a woman that can get married. You had kids.
high
so
value woman.
You can't, if you're not in
Then
that
do
high
your job
value-
as a woman.
So all
Don't
of those-
lose-
so all
don't
of those
gain weight.
women, that's a small
I'm just
small
saying.
slither right there.
Security.
That may be,
Security.
If
that
you,
may
if,
be-
That
that
nigga
may
turned
be like
around.
25 to 30% of the female population that fits within that box that you talking about. Of the other 70, like, fuck
What
that, I
about
want to
us?
vote. I
Yeah.
can't have kids, or I ain't the best looking chick in the world.
I think your
don't
numbers
come
are
from
off,
the right
but
family.
we don't have to argue
I don't-
about
I
that.
don't, but there's still a percentage of women who want to be empowered the same way because they don't have the privilege that you're talking about. You're not woke up as a white woman. I'm born and I'm automatically in that. That's not how it works.
the majority
You are,
of the white
'cause your
feminist
dad.
movement was lesbian women.
I don't know. That was a percentage of it, but I don't think.
A lesbian woman started it. I
So-
mean, feminists by large are lesbian.
So women's suffrage wasn't started by a lesbian. So you have the the feminist movement is an evolution. Of
Gloria
women's
Steinem
suffrage.
Gloria Steinem.
Is an evolution of women's suffrage. Is a
Nikki
evolution
Giovanni.
of all women. They've had women's movements since women came to the shores of America. You know what I'm saying? We didn't deal with that as much in our culture as black people. Original black culture never devalued the woman in that way. You can have a queen of the village. You can have the matriarch of the household. We never experienced that problem that Europeans had. That's why when we look at like how did black people get caught in feminism, they had to convince us because we traditionally didn't have that problem with our original black and African values.
They used it to derail the black liberation movement.
I agree, but so we have to realize what's the distinction. There is a difference. White culture, which is inherently Christian culture, does not value their women. So that's why every generation there's some type of women.
Don't believe that, bro. Don't believe that.
It's true. It's literally fact. If you look up Christian culture,
I'm gonna give you the difference though. Black woman feminists, right? Even though I think it's retarded and I hate it, I can get somewhat why they are mad about something, right? But why would you team with these white women? These white women, right? Granted, they make 89 cents to every dollar that a white man makes. But, like I said, when their white father or grandfather dies that makes more money than them, they're leaving them an inheritance. Whereas though the black woman gets nothing from no one.
She goes into debt if you die.
Right.
How about that?
but that's still discounting how they gotta live their whole life though. So the two things we talk about can be true.
To me, white
Both
women
can be true.
or
Both can be true.
White feminists are just ungrateful.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
Like-
I feel like as a white woman, if you can't make it, if you feel underprivileged,
These
you're not doing
motherfuckers
it right.
literally castrated the entire world to give it to you, and you still have a fucking problem
And
with
they've been the epitome of ladylikeness, of being like feminine. Like it, that's the other thing.
So-
Being feminine and that energy all comes from white women. Like it, literally, we define ourselves behind that, unfortunately, and that's just kind of where we are with this.
They pillaged and raped the world for you.
One of the most important things I've ever learned.
It's not good enough.
One of the most important things I ever learned in life that pain.
Them niggas deserve the extra 11 cent.
That
They
pain-
deserve it.
That pain and trauma and experience is all relative, right? Let's say if we try to donate some shoes to somebody in the country where they never wore shoes, they don't give a fuck about it.
Sure.
Right? If you bring somebody over here
Some sketches.
that lived in squalor and you put them in a Section 8 apartment, they feel like they're in heaven. Versus if you've never experienced Section 8, all of a sudden you had to go to Section 8, it was roaches, rats, and everything. You like, I'm dying, I'm the worst. Like, my life is over. So we're looking at their experience as if they came from where we came from.
Okay.
They never experienced what we experienced. They've always been where they were. So they're looking up, right?
I see.
White men are here. They're here. They're looking up. We were down here.
So we're looking at them, like,
we're
why you
looking
not
at them
grateful?
like, what's wrong with you? You
Yeah.
ungrateful.
No.
They've never been here. They've always been here.
That's fair.
They're foolishly making a mistake because you are
No,
a part.
that's just their reality.
You are a part of the fucking family.
That's their reality.
But they don't feel like that.
Yeah, that's their reality.
Then they
And I'm not
crazy.
even an
'Cause guess
advocate
what?
for white women.
As
They're
a white
crazy.
woman, think about this. As a white woman right now, they could look at a black woman. They're like, damn, is this black girl? How they trying to assimilate our culture? This black girl magic. These bitches thriving. They men that
Thriving
hold
how?
it down. They men they thinking differently. They trying to lift the black women up.
We have to watch the word
Meanwhile,
thrive.
Joe trying to keep me that, like, they have eyes too, and they recognize culture too. So they're recognizing my woman counterpart. That's why they try to recruit black women, because they see how black women are going. That's like, oh, we need this energy. That's why they co-op black women's culture.
Everybody knows the CIA funded Gloria Steinem. Everybody knows that.
So that's one small minuscule piece.
She was the feminist movement.
No, she was not.
Oh,
so
do your research,
no,
my
we
nigga.
have to talk
Hold on.
about the actual history.
we talking about, man?
From when women,
The women's
white women
liberation
got to
movement
America.
was headed by Gloria motherfucking Steinem.
Where did the women's?
You know this
liberation
nigga's a
movement
certified womanist, right? You're not about to.
come from? No. This is where did the women's movement start? Did it start with Gloria Steinem?
He's got certifications in this.
Gloria Steinem
Did it start with her?
was at the forefront of the women's liberation
And when
movement.
did that start?
I can't give you a time right now.
Give me a roundabout time.
Around late 60s.
So did white women just want their rights and independence at the 60s?
First of all, they already had rights and independence.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
They did. White women didn't have rights in the 60s?
They did. No, I'm saying before the 60s, they couldn't vote.
They couldn't vote.
So you gotta look at the
remember,
evolution of
rights
white women.
only matters about voting. Remember.
No, history.
No, they
couldn't own property.
Yeah.
That's not true. That's not true. There's a very good book that I came across called "They Were Her Property." It's an account of the white women slave owners from the 1800s and how they prosper to this day. Check that book out. So they could own property.
So was that outside of
what property couldn't they own?
So was that outside of state law that they own? So because you had certain states where white women could not own anything. It had to be in their husband's name. They couldn't inherit property. It had to go to a male heir in their family. So I can look up what you're talking about, but I know specific laws are on the books that women could not inherit property.
Name
or
one.
take property on.
Name one.
Name one what?
Specific law that
like
you know.
Louisiana had that law. Like several southern
What
states
year was that?
had law. It had to be definitely during slavery time, like 1800s into the 1900s, where the property had to pass to a male heir. The woman could not own a specific property. So they didn't operate under the same rules.
All right, no need to argue. Let's just get to the final thoughts, man. This is a great conversation.
Okay.
Thank y'all for having such a mature conversation, because submission in the black community is a big deal. The memes, they're always so funny, so thank y'all for that. I'll go first for my final thought. Just gonna hijack all that.
You better submit.
I surrender. So yeah, when it comes to celebrating the holidays, outside of my solar return, which is my birthday, I'm really
Solar return.
Yeah, that's when the sun is back in the same place it was when you were born. Everybody knows that.
Everybody.
You don't know. He still got a
Everybody
Christmas
knows
tree.
that. Right.
Well,
So,
you know, I used to be like one of them Hotep niggas. I used to be into all of that shit.
well, no. So honestly, the reason that I don't celebrate
And
the
then you
holidays
learned about
outside
reparations and
of
said,
the
"Fuck it."
Hotep thing is because I feel like every day should be Christmas in my relationship. Every day should be Christmas in my household. I definitely feel like every day should feel like Valentine's Day. Every day should feel like my birthday. And there's not a specific day where it's like, okay, let's set this aside and let's celebrate this. So for me, I celebrate the winter solstice. It was a great year for that. 2020 has been insane. And so I definitely needed the relaxation and the time away. As it relates to T.I., I do believe in daddy-daughter time and thought prevention. Although I don't want to call it that, I do believe that having a present father of quality,
I like how you stated
spending
that.
quality time
like that.
with his daughter, I do think that it will lower the likelihood that she'll become something that is undesirable as your family might feel. However, I don't shame sex workers. If you decide to make your money by laying on your back, by finessing or whatever the case is, if they want to buy it and you want to sell it, then baby, get your paper.
You ain't get no money from me on your back.
Listen, then baby, get your paper. I'm all for it. I support the naked hustle. Do your thing. When it comes to submitting, I think that I was very clear with, I don't like the word submit. It sounds very, very controlling. It sounds just very domineering. However, surrender sounds to me more like I'm choosing to give up this and I'm choosing to kind of allow you to lead. However, black men, I think it's important that when you want a woman to surrender to you, you have to come to her complete and whole. Being financially stable isn't enough. Being a man isn't enough. We want men who are emotionally available and stable, men who are financially stable and responsible and intelligent, and we want men who are physically in a space where you can do physical protection as well as just protecting our name in the street. So if you want us to surrender and things of that nature, you have to be complete and come as a package and not expecting us to complete you or to make you happy. Come as happy, healed, healthy men, and we'll appreciate you more.
Kirk.
Round of applause.
Yes. Oh.
You ain't got a person. I was joking.
Her final thoughts were great, with the exception of all that witchcraft.
Witchcraft is for white people. Remember that.
She's witch hazel.
Exactly, it's a difference.
Okay.
So
It's for white people. It's more
Christmas-
like voodoo and all that.
Oh, okay.
It's like Santa coming down the chimney.
Yeah, it's
If Santa comes down my chimney, which I don't have, he's going to be shot. He will be shot.
self-defense.
my final thoughts: Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. I would have to go back to elementary school to even remember what Hanukkah really like is about. For starters, I remember spinning the dreidel.
Edit that out because I don't want no smoke with the Jews.
I remember spinning the dreidel. I remember that. That's about it though. But Christmas, you know, make the kids happy. Celebrate it how you feel like celebrating it. They say it's the reason for the season. I think Jesus was born in like April or something like that, according to like the star and all that other good stuff. I know that's not your man, but anyways,
Would have been August. August.
Yeah, do what you gotta do as far as getting your kids the gifts, making everybody happy, making your significant others happy. You know, pandering for white America, doing what they love. What's the word? Damn, can't think of it right now. Forget that part. But anyways,
That's that OG.
Kwanzaa. Nah, shut up. I was trying to think of the word specifically where you want to just, you know, go along with all these pagan holidays and shit, but it's not important. Kwanzaa, I think if you want to bring the substance back to Christmas without it being whitewashed, you go ahead and celebrate some Kwanzaa, even if it was an FBI informant who came up with it. At the end of the day, the principles are solid. You got 7 of them. I'm not going to name all 7, but they're solid. And they bring in the little Swahili in there, get you back into your roots that you don't mess with either, Norman. But
I was cut
the
from
principles,
my roots and replanted the country that my ancestors built.
Whatever, dog. The principles, though, are very solid, and I think you should live by them. And whether we get reparations or not, if you actually and implement those principles into our community, I think we can make a big impact with one another. Next topic was what? Remind me. T.I. Yeah. Thot prevention hours. Spend a lot of time with your daughters, dads. Simple as that. No more, no less. Whether it's thot prevention hours or not, have faith that your kid is doing what you ask him to do and becoming a mature and solid human being, because you spending the time with him that's going to create a mature, solid human being. Checking hymens and all that was another episode. I don't even want to talk about that. Thot prevention hours. Spend some time with your kid. Simple as that. And have some faith that they're going to be solid. Faith was the word of the day. So that's going to be the end of my final thoughts, is faith. It's the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. That's Hebrews 11 for the record.
Retarded. Mr. Cosby.
First of all, shout out to everybody who's listening. All of our listeners, make sure you like and subscribe to the show. We appreciate you supporting us all through 2020, through the pandemic, through our new cast mates that have become the Straight Talk family. I appreciate all of you guys. Let's start off with Kwanzaa. As the saying goes, you don't not have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. If you're looking for a leader throughout history, black, white, or indifferent, that was completely flawless, that led mass movements, you won't find one. From the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to Louis Farrakhan to
Malcolm X,
the constant white leaders in the white community, to their religions, Christianity, that is the backbone of Christmas and Hanukkah and all these other holidays, that you're going to find there were bad things and terrible people behind these movements. But they still have the ability to inspire people to do great things, to spend great time with your family, and inspire the world. So, you know, do what you want to do. Celebrate how you want to celebrate. But black people, we need to establish our own customs and traditions, especially as foundational black Americans. We need something to hold on to that is not connected to Europe, that is not connected to slavery, it's not connected to imperialism. And Kwanzaa is one of those things. It's not connected to any of those things, even though one of the creators of the holiday is a flawed individual. When it comes to women submitting to men, I think as a man, you have to be worthy of the woman submitting to you. You can't just be whole in one area. Hazel Vixen said it very quite eloquently that it's like a table with 4 legs, right? You can't come with a table with 1 leg, 2 leg, 3 legs and expect to hold up your family and your woman submit to you. You need to come with that table with 4 legs, physically, emotionally, financially, and spiritually stable, for you to lead your family in a positive direction. When it comes to T.I. and his thought prevention hours, now I'm all for men, especially black men, spending as much time as they can with their daughters. But we cannot confuse quantity with quality. Let's say this again. We cannot confuse quality with quantity. You can spend all the time in the world with your daughter or son and be a dirtbag. And guess what your kids are gonna model? A dirtbag. You can spend all the time in the world with your daughter. And if you're a cheater, right? She's gonna model a cheater. You can spend all the time in the world with your daughter, and if she expects you're just there financially, you're a check writer, you know what she's gonna look for? A check writer. So let's not confuse quantity with quality when it comes to time with your daughters in terms of preventing a thought. What's the last topic?
You said it already, the submission.
That was all of them? No, it was one more. T.I. Thought.
Submission, submission, Kwanzaa, you talked about it. Good job.
That's
Those
my
are your
final thoughts.
Hey, you lit.
Yo, real quick, I'd like to congratulate the whole panel for not cutting anyone off during their final thoughts this week.
I know, I was really in tune.
You kind of did.
I didn't. I kind of smirked at some things you said, but I didn't cut you off.
You hit Hazel with a couple. She soldiered through.
I mean,
He always
She's learning.
Me.
She's learning.
He always
I want to start your final thoughts off with shouting you out for admitting that you were wrong today.
thank
Yes,
you. Thank
come
you.
on. Come on, Black.
I mean, it's
Growth.
personal growth. Like,
Growth. Clap it up for you. So make sure you mention that in your final thoughts.
This is
Don't try to
me,
make it seem like you were right.
The new you.
no, it's been me. Anybody that really like, I like to talk shit. Sometimes I get engulfed in it, but then when I start calming down and I think about what I'm actually saying, I'm like, maybe this nigga's right.
Man, this nigga's right.
So, no, since we shot people out, first of all, I'd like to shout out Cosby Digital. I did not realize that he was a certified school psychologist.
Dr. Umar.
Never
Umar
said that for the
Digital.
record.
Dr. Umar Digital.
I thought he was about to really say something of something.
I think that was very substantial.
Straight back to the bullshit.
His Cash App is, let me stop.
Donations.
Donations.
Yes. Donations.
But
You may
nah,
not bring your white wife.
right. But nah, first topic. What was it? Kwanzaa?
Kwanzaa Hanukkah.
Yeah, I was a little rough on Kwanzaa. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like Kwanzaa's a waste of time and like a Debbie Downer when it comes to holidays. But if you guys think it's a great day, it does have some good principles to it. So fuck it. Celebrate Kwanzaa if you want to celebrate Kwanzaa. But back of your mind, you know that Christmas is better. Gotta call a spade a spade. As far as submission goes, so I believe submission is a two-way street. What you don't see as far as the man is concerned, yeah, it appears that his wife is kissing his ass and cooking his food and doing all this stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that men have to do to submit as well. You know, paying all the bills is one of those things. When you living up in a house with another adult and they don't have no kids, mind you, you paying all the damn bills and they're on the internet all day making videos, that's a form of submission. Because no matter how much you want to be the big bag nigga walking around the house to paying the bills, when she pisses you off, you want to say, well, you don't pay no bills around here. That's submission. Because why? She takes care of you. Even though you could probably afford a maid or a butler, she's still taking care of you.
They're not cuddling with you, so it's different.
Well, I could definitely afford a prostitute.
Can you? What's the going rate these days?
$40.
But nah, as far as submission goes, it's a two-way street. Like, relationships these days, especially in the households that we have, where the men and the women contribute, it's a two-way street. I'll give you guys a personal example. My wife works just as hard as I do. Maybe even harder.
Harder.
But certain things around the house, she makes it her personal responsibility to do. If my son poops in his pants, I don't change no diapers no more. She feeds the nigga every night. She gives him a bath. She makes sure all the kids do their homework. She does what she can do. One thing she doesn't get to do, which she probably wants to do more, is cook. But guess what? I enjoy cooking. I go ahead and cook. I go ahead and take care of cleaning up the kitchen, washing the dishes, because I know that she is probably gassed out from all the other shit that she has to do all day. So relationships are a two-way street. You know what I mean? Now, if you're not working, you got to 100% commit to all that bullshit. But if both parties are contributing to the household economy, then you just have to get in where you fit in, and that's it. As far as men being deserving to be submitted to, I definitely agree with
Witch Hazel.
Witch Hazel
This
on that
episode
one.
is Witch Hazel.
Because a lot of these niggas are sorry as hell. They come home with their Taco Bell check.
Shout out to my niggas just making it in Taco Bell.
I'm just saying, my nigga, you can't come home with your Taco Bell check, you know, with your nuts out. You just can't. You just can't. You got to figure out a way to put more food on the table for your
What if
family.
they just crossed the border and he got a Taco Bell check?
I'm only concerned with black Americans. Get some of that cartel money, I don't know. But what else we got? T.I., yeah. So as far as daddy-daughter time or thought prevention time, I think that T.I. was 100% spot on. Has T.I. done everything perfectly? No, but he's a public personality. So a lot of his shit is gonna come out in the public. Granted, he volunteers a lot of that. I don't think that we should dismiss what he had to say just because of some other things he may have done, because he's actually spot on. Most of the women that you and I know who are whores. Now, promiscuous.
I don't know no horse.
Listen, being promiscuous is one thing.
I don't know no horse.
I'm not mad at someone who's promiscuous, but we all know these low down dirty thoughts out here. We know them. We all know them.
I don't know none of them.
You don't know?
more.
No more.
Okay.
More.
I ain't known no thoughts since I was 20.
And we all know that 98% of them got daddy issues. So look, fellas, stay in your daughter's life, stay in her ear, show her how a lady's supposed to be treated, because that's what she's gonna look for in a man. Whatever you are, she's gonna expect that man to be like you in some weird,
Oedipus.
Very
what's that
weird.
word, in the back of what's that word, subconscious type of way. She's gonna expect that from these other niggas. So I think we can chop it up to like T.I. trying to say that the daddy thought prevention time is like some subconscious shit he's trying to implant in his daughter so that she won't be susceptible to fuck boys.
Jail logic.
Okay. He didn't spend much time in jail though. But that's another episode. All them damn guns. Never mind. But I think that's it, right?
I think that's it.
Hey, this has been this episode of Straight Talk No Chase. Had a great time for myself, Kirkland Keys, Witch Hazel,
Vixen.
and Bill Cosby Digital.
Shout out to Vegan Steve. I know his arms hurt. We've been here 2.5 hours. He the
Nigga that took his shoes off.
MVP.
He started with the joints
As
off.
always.
But yo,
Straight cash, homie.